How's it going, hockey fans? Thank you all so much for tuning in to episode 7 of the Fourth Line Plugs podcast. Today we're going to be going through our preseason power rankings, letting you know where every team stands at the start of the regular season. After that, we'll be going through our season-ending standings predictions, where we're going to predict where every team is going to fall and which teams are going to make and miss the playoffs. If you enjoyed today's content, please be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a follow if you're on Spotify. And be sure to comment what content you enjoy, what you want to see next, and where you agree or disagree. I hope you enjoy today's show. Welcome, everyone, to the Week 0 preseason power rankings tier list for the Fourth Line Plugs. It's going to be both a tier list and a power rankings. So the teams are going to be put into these tiers: Stanley Cup favorites, will make the playoffs, should make the playoffs, might make the playoffs, and won't make the playoffs. And these teams will be ordered from left to right. So if Anaheim is here, Boston is the next team. So this would be, say, Team 32, Team 31. Just as for instance, let's kick it off. Who's 32?
Number 32 in my power rankings is the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
They're not a good team.
No. I assume it's in the won't make the playoffs category.
Yes, in the won't make the playoffs category. Yeah. So they'll have lots of friends there.
Yep.
Because number 31, I'm going to put the San Jose Sharks.
Okay.
They don't have a blue line at all. They'll be fun to watch, but they won't win a lot of games, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Not yet. Then next up, I have the Philadelphia Flyers. They won't be as fun to watch, but they're not going to win very many games.
They have a little bit more of a blue line, though.
They have more of a blue line, so they'll win slightly more games, I would say, but not a lot of forward talent. Next up is the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't think Sidney Crosby will let me put them any lower than this. As much as I might want to tank for McKenna, the rest of the roster around him has never been worse. The blue line is probably worse than the Sharks or the Blackhawks, which is crazy to say, looking at the guys that those guys are fielding. But I mean, the Penguins are really bad right now.
Yeah.
Next up, still in the won't make the playoffs tier, I have the Calgary Flames. Yep. They are also in full tank mode. I think Wolf is going to steal them a bunch of games, but they're going to trade away some assets that are helping them win games, I think, this year, and I think they're not very good. Next up is the Boston Bruins. They've got some stuff, but I don't think they're going to put it together. This is a slightly higher tier, I would say. Maybe there should be another tier, but this team also isn't making the playoffs, so it makes sense within our playoff versus not playoff ranking. But I would say that for the next couple teams that are also going to be and won't make the playoffs are teams that are a little better than the first set of teams.
Right.
We're talking like, they're still not going to. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. They're all bad, but sure.
There's a chance that they could be decent.
Those
not a good
are
chance.
The teams, right? They might move up to might make the playoffs if they have like a crazy start to the season or something like that. I can, in no world am I ever seeing the Flames or the Penguins making that jump.
Yeah.
So
and just to catch
maybe it's
everyone
just the Penguins.
It's 32 for Chicago, 31 for San Jose, 30 for Flyers, 29 for Pittsburgh, 28 for Calgary, 27 for Boston. Who's 26?
26 is the Seattle Kraken.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, more so than some of the teams that they're going to be around here. I think that at least the expectations for them is still that they're not going to be a good team. Not sure that Boston has had that sunk in yet, and definitely not sure about our next team.
Yep.
The Nashville Predators.
At 25.
On whether that's sunk in yet. I have Nashville Predators at 25. Yeah, they they probably won't have the second worst record or third worst record in the NHL or whatever, but
probably not.
But I still don't think that there's a world where they get moved up to might make the playoffs. So like those other teams, later on in the year after they've shown more to me. But right now, my expectation is that this team will not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Another team that won't make the playoffs, I think, the New York Islanders.
At 24.
At 24. They've actually gone up a little bit, even since the entire preseason has happened, just because Matthew Schaefer has looked awesome.
Yeah, he has.
And there's a real possibility that he could be a difference maker, a Wayne Hudson type of first year, and kind of give him a little bit of life. We've talked a bunch of times about how there are some good pieces on this roster. It's still not a good roster, even if Schaefer was Quinn Hughes. I still don't think this is a good roster. But if Schaefer is Quinn Hughes, are they not making the playoffs? In the Metro,
the Sorokin and net,
Mm-hmm. I mean, or Wayne Hudson. We'll say he has the exact same season that Wayne Hudson had last year, right? This is probably at least close to a playoff team in the Metro, if that's the case, right? So, I'm not projecting that Schaefer is going to be that great, because that's just a rarity to happen. But he looked really good in the preseason, so I think there's a chance for him. So that's why they're towards the top of this tier for me.
I do wonder, once he plays against some teams that are trying a little bit harder and against more physical opponents, how he's gonna hold up.
Yeah, that's true. And speaking of teams that have struggled against opponents that are trying and also more physical opponents, the last team in this tier of won't make the playoffs is the Anaheim Ducks
at 23.
They're the most likely team, I think, to make the jump to might make the playoffs. They could prove quite a bit here. They've got the young forwards, they've got the young defensemen to kind of make the step, but I think they're still kind of far away. They had a weird year last year where they were way better than they were supposed to be because of Lucas Dostal and how good he was in net. One of the best goalie seasons in a while.
Yeah,
honestly, it was a really, really good goalie season from him. So I don't expect that to be the normal.
Yeah.
I think he's a great goalie, but I don't think he's that level of goalie. So I think there'll be some regression to the mean there. I think that the team on paper didn't necessarily get that much better than it was before. They made a couple of additions, but nothing huge to where you'd expect them to make a big jump. So it's going to be on their young players to really, really make a jump, and we'll see what Leo Carlsson does. But I think I'm just not expecting them to be a playoff team. Yeah, honestly. There's too many other teams that I think are going to be ahead of them.
Yep.
So then we're going to have a tier break here to might make the playoffs. The next team on my tier list, I have the Detroit Red Wings.
Detroit at 22.
Yep. We'll see what we get out of John Gibson. There could be some movement here. They've got the combination of young guys who could take a leap. Maybe a Mo Sider has a great breakout season. And John Gibson is a huge question mark. And Casper, that's the other guy I think to take a look at. Maybe could potentially bring this team to finally make the Yzer plan a real thing. You know, finally we trusted the trusted the Yzer plan. I don't know. This team to me doesn't scream playoff team right now. But they've got some of the pieces to get there. Yeah. So I'm gonna say they're better than the Ducks, but not by that much.
Right.
Not by that much. And then next up, I have the Columbus Blue Jackets.
21.
And might make the playoffs at 21. Yes. Columbus has a really bad goaltending problem.
Yeah.
And they have a really not bad rest of their team. They've got a lot of things to be excited about. They got a lot of young guys that are gonna grow into being, I think, really good NHL players. They're also in the Metro, which is about the best place you could be if you want to make the playoffs. The Metro and the Pacific a little less so. But yeah, I like this forward group. I think I'm pretty happy with this defense core. I absolutely hate Merzlikins in net, and I think he loses them enough games to where they're probably not going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
So there's just enough teams ahead of him. But we'll see. There could be some movement there. So.
Yep. Hey, maybe Jet Greaves comes in and just kills it as a young goalie and carries him up. Jordan Bennington style.
There is a possibility for sure. Next up in my might make the playoffs tier at 20 is the Buffalo Sabres.
There they are. I was waiting for them to come out.
You're waiting for them. I'm high on this Sabres lineup on paper. I love their blue line. I think they have enough pieces of forward guys that if guys get it together, that they'll be able to do stuff. The Quinn Kulik Doan line looked really cool in the preseason.
Yep.
I think they're going to be an exciting line to watch during the thing. 3 guys under 24, but has a lot of firepower there. And UPL got injured in preseason.
Yep.
They're going in with Lyon and Georgiev. That is a spooky, scary goaltending combination. And I'm not so sure that when UPL comes back that they're that much better because he has been on a tight leash. So
I mean, anything's better than trying out Georgiev at this stage. I'll take
maybe
anything.
so.
I might take Merzlikins over Georgiev.
That is true. But as it is with the Buffalo Sabres, they play worse than they look on paper. They have consistently.
Yep.
I don't know why that's the case, but it is. And so I think this is a playoff roster on paper. They're in the Atlantic, the hardest division.
Yep.
And they are consistently underperforming.
Yeah.
So it may be the Central's harder. But they're in a hard division.
Yeah,
In the Metro, this team wins. 5-10 more games over the course of the season, and probably has a better chance at making the playoffs.
Yep.
Speaking of teams that are probably only in this because of their division is the Utah Mammoth. They're at the top of the might make the playoffs tier for me.
Okay.
This team is quite good. I like this roster construction. I think they don't have any major holes. They have a lot of good pieces and a lot of good players that can get you there. But they're in the Central.
Yep.
And I mean, I think they're the second worst team in the Central, or third worst team in the Central, right? Which is crazy because I think in the Pacific they might be the third or fourth best team on a good day. So I mean, I think they're a team that are going to have a lot of hard games to play, and we'll see a lot of who they are. But I don't expect them to win enough of those to make the playoffs over some of the other harder hitters in the Central that we're about to get to.
Yep.
So
it'll depend on their goaltending, I think.
Yes.
I think if the goaltending is good, this is a playoff team. If the goaltending is not good, this is not a playoff team.
I think the goaltending has to be very good for it to be a playoff team. Or,
Or if they're just like the healthiest team in the Central, then they might get there by default.
That does help. Or we get like a huge breakout year from Logan Cooley with a, point per game, 30 goals, 40 goals, whatever, We'll see. Next up, we have a tier break. So that was how many teams we have 14 teams in might make the playoffs. So you'll note that there are 16 teams that should be out of the playoffs, right? So I'm going to put 2 extra teams in the should make the playoffs team. So there are going to be some teams that are lower, that are not meeting their expectations.
Yes.
We'll say that. So we'll see who it's going to end up being. But there's too many good teams right now, I think, for how many playoff spots there are. Like the NHL quality of competition is pretty high. I mean, there's 18 teams here that I think look like playoff teams, and these 4 teams that I just put in that tier, there are definitely years where those would have looked like playoff teams as well.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's a strong year for the NHL.
I agree.
So next up at the bottom of should make the playoffs at 18 on my list, I have the Montreal Canadiens.
Ooh, Montreal falling out.
I have Montreal 16. Canadiens. They have technically fallen out of the top 16 if we're taking this at the exact. And yeah, I mean, I think that the Atlantic is really hard.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be really hard on teams like Montreal, who are a little bit young, a little bit unexperienced, not particularly physical. Their blue line has some questions. They've added in Noah Dobson this year, who helps them a lot with having another puck mover and another really good offensive defenseman alongside Wayne Hudson. But they don't really have the rock solid, stable defensemen to pair with those guys.
Yeah.
And I just worry, and I worry about Sam Montembeault getting a little bit shelled by some of these high octane teams in the Atlantic. And I just think that they maybe overperformed a little bit last year compared to where they are in their rebuild process. They still have some amazing pieces, and I think they still should make the playoffs. Like, you look at this team, this looks like a playoff team, but the reality of the NHL is that, I have two teams in these tiers that are not going to make it, and right now I think that it's Montreal.
Yeah.
It's tough. Because you guys have heard me. How many Montreal players have I sung the praises of over the course of our podcast so far? I mean, I like this team a lot, and they could prove me wrong for sure. And that's why they're in should make the playoffs and not might make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
The tier break seemed appropriate here. This is a better team for sure than Utah is. But I have them at 16. And 18. At 15, at 18, right?
Yes.
And then at 17, also just missing the playoffs. Currently, I have Vancouver.
Okay.
Now, is Vancouver actually going to miss the playoffs? We'll see where they wind up. But this is one of the teams that has, I would say, the most question marks out of any of the teams in the playoff tier. But I just, they have Quinn Hughes. If they get a full healthy season out of Quinn Hughes and a bounce back season out of Elias Pettersson, which I'm assuming is going to happen because of the change in locker room stuff, the injuries potentially messing with him and stuff like that. I mean, this is still a good team because of just two players,
Yeah.
And we'll see what they get out of their goaltending. Demko may be good. If he's really good, then obviously this team will easily make the playoffs. If he's not that good, I still think Lankinen is a serviceable backup or 1B or 1A, I guess, if that's what he needs to be. He's a solid goalie, right? Like, I think he can win them enough games to get there in, what is ultimately super, super weak Pacific Division, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to have a lot of easy games. In order for them to make the playoffs, realistically, they just have to beat the Kings.
Yep.
So that's going to be the question for the Canucks. I don't think they're better than any of the Central teams that I think are going to make the playoffs.
Probably not.
But
might not be better than Utah.
Might not be better than Utah, but that still might be good enough because of how bad the Pacific is. So we love their defense core. We've talked about that before. Love their defense core. Their forward group is a little thin. We'll see.
Might be really exciting, though.
Yeah.
Braden Coots has looked really good. He looks like he's going to make the team. Karamakis looks really good.
You gotta love 18-year-olds drafted in the 20s? Teens?
No, he was
teens?
15th. 15th
Teens? Teens making the team?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whether he'll stay there for long or not, I don't know, but looks like opening night he's going to be.
He really fills a giant need that they had. So
yeah. Yep.
So very exciting. And so right above this team, I have the Los Angeles Kings,
number 16.
This is the number 16 team. I have the LA Kings.
Should make the playoffs.
Yep,
for real.
This is yes. So I think these teams are kind of a toss-up between the Kings and the Canucks. I don't think either of them are going to be fantastic teams that are like really, you know, pushing anybody to the edge.
Yep.
You know, in the playoffs or anything like that. But I think I have a lot more faith in the Kings than the Canucks to actually get it done. They just have more veterans. They have more proven stable players. They're not relying on any jumps or anything like that. But I mean, they're an old team and a couple of health issues, and they look really bad. I mean, they look really bad. They have some really important slots filled by old guys, like a Drew Doughty injury to this team.
Yeah, nukes
like kind of just eliminates any like offensive upside from their blue line completely, because of all the changes that they made and on their blue line this year. I mean, they're just they're one Drew
had injuries as well.
Yep, Kemper's not had a very healthy
career.
And then Anze Kopitar is 38. I mean, you know, there's always a chance that we lose some games. He's been insanely healthy. Of late, but I mean, you know, at some point your body catches up to you, and I wouldn't be surprised if some games are missed. So yeah, I think everyone healthy, this team is significantly better than the Canucks, but I'm not 100% convinced that they'll be able to stay healthy. So we'll see though. Maybe an Anze Kopitar retirement tour lights a fire under everybody, and they actually look really good. I mean, if they all stay healthy and everyone plays well, it's a good team. It's a good team. It's just...
And if they make the playoffs and they make the finals with Corey Perry.
Yeah, and then they're going to lose in the finals. So we'll see who. So, yeah. Interesting team for sure. Those are the two teams I think will be fighting for that final spot in the West, in the Pacific specifically, the third seed in the Pacific. So better than them, but in the Central, next up at 15, I have the Minnesota Wild. I like this team a lot. They've got Kaprizov locked up forever. Now, lots of questions there, but 16 million is a ton of, or 17 million, is a ton of money. So we'll see how that hampers their roster construction in the future. But this year they still have them on a very reasonable 9 million. And there's a lot of other guys to like on this team. So I think this is a good team. We have a very interesting like blue line. With a lot of young guys that are going to get chances to take a step, but they have enough like veteran presence there to like for me to not feel like this is like a disaster waiting to happen. So I think that's pretty exciting. We'll see what Bouillon specifically I think is going to be an exciting player to watch. So we'll see what he's capable of doing. And then I mean, Marco Rossi is currently listed as their 1C, which is a little bit far from ideal. But they got Kaprizov and Boldy on that line. So, I mean, you know, Kaprizov is obviously the runner of the line, does everything. So I think there's a lot of good things to like about this team. They're in the Central, so they're going to have a tough time of it. And obviously, if they get like a Kaprizov injury or a Gustafsson injury or something like that, I mean, they're... You know, injuries happen and it makes it harder to do. But I don't know. I think on paper this is a very, very good team that I think is just going to be really good in the regular season and then not do anything in the playoffs.
I think this team just lacks, I don't know, some proven sauce or something. Like like this team looks really good, but like this is one of the teams I would bet to miss the playoffs if somebody in the Central is going to disappoint, like it's going to be the Wild because the Stars and the Jets and the Avs have just done it. And
for sure,
the Wild haven't done it. And
and
it's
if
hard
I'm
to say
picking
that
a team,
they will do it. You know,
if I'm picking a team that is like one of the least likely to make it past the first round of the playoffs, it's the Wild. Like I just don't. I just think the ceiling of this team isn't very high, and the floor is pretty decent if everyone's healthy. But I'm worried about their roster construction with Kaprizov making that much money going forward.
Yeah.
We'll see what they're able to do with that kind of contract on the books.
Yep.
Very interesting. Next up at 14.
14.
I'm good at remembering things. We have the Ottawa Senators. I like the Ottawa Senators, and I wish I could put them higher than this because I really like the team.
Yeah.
But they're in the Atlantic, which is automatically tough.
Yep.
For them. They're just going to lose more games, and they are missing just a little bit of high end. They currently have Drew and Perron listed as top 6 wingers, which is not ideal. I would say if you're relying on two 37-year-olds well past their prime to still be big time contributors in your top 6. But everything else about these rosters is fantastic. Or about this roster is fantastic. So I mean,
and when Batherson comes back, he'll kick one of those two down to the third line.
We can only hope. Yeah. So
unless he just replaces a Brady Tkachuk who also gets hurt when he comes back or something, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, this team has basically everything in my book. They have a goalie that can get it done. They have a 1D that has an amazingly bright future, and they have a 1C that has an amazingly bright future. Yep. So it's hard not to think that these are going to be a perennial playoff team for the upcoming future. And honestly, I mean, this is just with the Florida injuries, which we will get to. This is one of those teams I could see being a little bit sneaky.
I think Ottawa's going to have a great regular season and will definitely make the playoffs. I just don't know once in there.
Yeah.
How long does the magic go?
Yeah, they need a couple runs, I think, just to get some experience on Stützle and Sanderson, and then maybe make sure that they're surrounded with the right kind of guys to help them succeed in the playoffs. So, I think Ottawa's going to be buyers at the deadline. I think this is a good year for them to go all in for the first time because they really don't have any holes to fill. Yeah. So if they go get themselves a top 6 winger, maybe a Brian Rust, a Ricard Raquel, please take them. No, but I mean, if they go out and get themselves a true top 6 winger that is playoff tested, like Brian Rust on this team would be such a huge difference maker. No, a guy with that much playoff experience just coming in and helping out with that can still play, those kind of top 6 minutes. So they're pieces away, I think, from being Stanley Cup contenders. I think right now where they're at, because of how hard the thing is, they're in this should make the playoffs tier. Yeah. Which is crazy to think about, the jump between that. But they have one of the brightest futures, I think, of any of the teams in this tier.
Yeah.
And then the last team in the should make the playoffs tier.
Yep.
I have the St. Louis Blues.
Number 13.
The St. Louis Blues. The St. Louis Blues are honestly an interesting team. They've got some weird lineup construction and some weird things, and they have 2 guys that they stole from Edmonton that are looking like absolute studs on this roster, and Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway, who have just grown into crazy roles for this team. There really aren't any holes in this roster. This is just a good roster that just has a lot of depth. They have a lot of good players. They don't quite have the ceiling, I think, to be true Stanley Cup contenders.
Yeah.
So that's to me their biggest issue. Binners might be that ceiling, honestly, if he goes on a heater. Right? Yeah. He is one of those guys that can absolutely get it all done. Yep. But I'm not sure how many other guys on their roster have that take over the game potential that you really need in order to be able to make a good long finals run.
Yep.
So combine that with the fact that they're in the Central, so it's going to be hard and stuff like that. That's why I have them in this tier instead of being more confident about their ability to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So Yeah, they're just a tier below the teams that we're about to get to. But I like this roster a lot. I don't know how you could really fix them with the way that it's constructed. I mean, really, I think what they need is more of a 1D that has a little bit more sauce to them than a Fowler or a Parayko. I think both of those guys are better being the second best defenseman on your team.
Yeah.
So maybe they can do something with that.
Yeah, I think some juice on the blue line would be the biggest.
But that the floor of that blue line is just insanely like consistent, right? Like you really know what you're getting with Fowler, Parayko, Broberg, and Falk at this point. Like those are just guys that are going to be able to give you really consistent, good minutes. So yeah, the Blues are good. Blues are good, but they're not. They're not like they're not Stanley Cup favorites. They're not Stanley Cup contenders, really, in my mind. So they need a lot to go right in order for them to really make a run. So yeah, next up I have the will make the playoffs tier. We're doing a little tier break. So these are teams that I think are more able to make a run than those teams. And these are teams that there's basically no question in my mind right now that they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they have to be significant injuries.
They'd have to lose major guys for a long time or anything like that. So
and somebody below them would have to jump as well.
Yes. Right. Speaking of major injuries. At what number? Help.
12.
We have the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah.
This is a team that honestly, talent on paper would be higher than this.
Yeah.
For sure. I would absolutely, talent on paper, put them. They have Jack Hughes. They have Nico Hischier. That is one of the best top two centers combinations in the NHL. I don't actually think there are any that are better. I think healthy, I would take that combination over any other combination of two center. I mean, unless we're counting Draisaitl as a 2C,
right? In
which case,
yeah.
But that's not really how the Oilers work.
Yeah.
So, but like line to line, center to center, there's that, and then defensively. I mean, this is just an insanely good team. They got the Luke Hughes contract done. So they've got Luke Hughes. They've got Dougie Hamilton, who, if he's healthy, is insanely good. And they have every single surrounding piece that you could possibly want on the blue line for those two guys to be able to do what it is that they do. And they have extras. Yeah, exactly.
Because Casey looked great in the preseason, Seamus Casey. And then Kovacevic is coming back in January-ish. Like... Yeah. They have like 8.
They have eight NHL quality blue liners, some with higher ceilings than that. And then I think Markstrom is a goalie that can get it done if he's healthy. But every single one of these guys has had major injury concerns in the last few years. I mean, Jack Hughes still has not had a healthy season. Dougie Hamilton. Probably not gonna have a healthy season. Hasn't done that in a very long time, right? We got Jacob Markstrom, a guy who could have an injury and derail them as well. Like there's just so many injury issues to me with this team for me to put them any higher than this. But if somehow some miracle happens and they're blessed with the most insanely good health that could ever happen, this is a team that could win the Stanley Cup. I last year they were my Stanley Cup predictor coming out of the East because I foolishly thought that there's no way that they're all injured again, and you just look at this lineup and you're like, holy cow, this is an insanely good lineup. But so
I did the same
if
thing
they're healthy. If they're healthy, they're crazy. If they're not healthy, which has been what's happened year after year after year, then I think that they'll make the playoffs. But I
could see them missing.
They're a team that could have enough injuries to get jumped by one of these teams and should make the playoffs. That is not, though, to get jumped by the Habs specifically, right? If you're a Habs fan, you're rooting for the Devils' demise here because that is one of the easiest ways to guarantee that you get in the playoffs.
Or one of these three down here.
Yeah, or a Columbus sneaks in, right? Or a Buffalo sneaks in, or maybe even the Red Wings.
I don't know.
A lot has to go right for them, but yeah. So that's the eternal struggle of the Devils, right?
Yep.
You know, can you really even think about this team without thinking about health issues?
Yeah.
So
you can't.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next up at number 11.
Yep.
Is the Washington Capitals.
Okay.
I'm crazy. I think I'm going to be different than a lot of other people with one team that we're about to get to.
There's one that's standing out to me right now.
You're thinking that I should have said already.
Yeah,
I'm sure. But yeah, I think the Washington Capitals had a bit of an overperformance last year.
Yep.
I still think they're in the Metro.
Yep.
And they have a good blue line.
Yep.
And they have a solid forward group with some good players that are good to watch. So I think they're still a really good team. Still potentially could be Stanley Cup contenders, but I wouldn't put them as the favorites. And I think they're a little worse than some of these other teams. So I'm not convinced that Logan Thompson is that guy. I mean, he's definitely good enough to get them to the playoffs. Like, he's definitely a good goalie. I'm not convinced he's one of the 4 best goalies in the NHL.
No.
Right? Which is what he looked like last year.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think there will be a little bit of regression there. I think, there's some questions in their top 6 about who's going to perform. Basically, every single player on their team had a career year last year.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem sustainable.
Nope.
Right? Like, you'd expect you like to see like a team get better as a group and like, take this leap and stuff like that, which they obviously did. And they're obviously still a good team, but I think we're going to see just a little bit of regression here.
Yeah.
Out of the Capitals.
Yeah. Some of those guys like Protas and McMichael's not too surprising at a career year. Like they're just progressing.
Right. They're at that time, but like Dylan Strome
and Tom Wilson.
Tom Wilson.
Those guys had outlier years, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's
also
it's
year 2 for PLD. So that's where the
that's true.
The shine starts to wear off.
PLD, another guy who had a career year.
Yeah. His first year is always good with the team, and then the next year is a disaster.
We'll see what version of PLD that we get this year for the Capitals, because a lot of their top 6 is riding on him being a really good player. Yeah. So we've seen him be a not good player at all. So, So that's where I have Washington. And right above them, I have probably the team that you were thinking of, the New York Rangers. I'm predicting a major bounce back for the New York Rangers this year. I think this team looks significantly better than it did last year, at the beginning of the year, at least. And just 2 years ago, they won the President's Trophy.
Yeah.
Like, this team hasn't changed that much from what that team was. I mean, I guess it has now, but like the team last year was very similar to what the team was that won the President's Trophy, right? And I think they've gotten way better this season. I think a full year of JT Miller is going to do wonders for them.
Yeah.
I mean, JT Miller is just a really good player, right?
Yep.
And so I think that's going to be really nice for him. I like the pickup of Gavrikov as Fox's thing. I think that's going to be one of the scariest pairs in the entire NHL. And I mean, Igor Shesterkin is one of the best goalies in the National Hockey League. Yep. He had an off year last year, but I mean, he's done it enough times in the past that I have complete and total faith in him to be that guy. Yeah. Right. So to me, looking at this team, it's just a great team.
You even mentioned their biggest ad.
Yeah, Mike Sullivan.
Yeah.
They just picked up a fantastic coach, multi-time Stanley Cup winning coach.
Yep.
A guy that can potentially help turn around the Rock, because you after such a disappointing year like last year, you kind of need that kind of change. But like, picking up Mike Sullivan, like I don't know, I just can't think of a better fit like coaching wise, like for where this team is, than picking up somebody like Sully who can come in and just do that. Like Sully struggled with the Penguins because he's not the kind of guy that knows how to do developmental stuff. He's got his system, and he doesn't want to adjust his system to help young guys out or to do that stuff. But the Rangers are a team that are good enough to do whatever he needs them to do. Like there's enough talent on this roster to just get it done. And so I think this is like my biggest, majorest, spiciest prediction that this team is good, like really good.
Yeah.
And that they could, I don't currently have them at the top of the Metro because there's another team here that I'm going to put higher than them, but I could see them winning the Metro again.
Yeah.
There's a world where that happens. I think this team has done everything they could this offseason to bounce back. This is a good roster. Like this is a really good roster.
Yeah. If you think back to those 2016, 2017 Cups that Pittsburgh won, obviously New York doesn't have Sidney Crosby. But like Shesterkin's, I think, inarguably a million times better than Matt Murray. And I think Adam Fox is better than anybody that was on that Penguins team on defense.
Yeah.
Gavrikov might also at this point be better than any other player. That's more debatable, but I mean, what
certainly the most different kind of player than Chris Letang, but
yeah.
But yeah, this is I don't know. If I'm a Rangers fan, I'm extremely excited for this year because it seems like they've got all the pieces that they need to have the bounce back year and to go right back into being like real contenders.
Yeah.
So that's where I have them. I'm sure that a lot of people are gonna think would have put them in some of these lower tiers. But I don't know. I'm confident in this team.
Yeah.
Okay. And then next up, I have the Tampa Bay Lightning.
At number 9.
Number 9, I have the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yep.
Colin, this is a good team.
Yeah. Yeah,
this is a good team. It's a team that has been good for a long time.
Yeah. I question the depth.
Yeah.
At all 3 positions.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really good.
Yeah. They got to stay healthy.
Yes.
Because they don't have the depth.
Yes.
And they're getting older.
Yes. Particularly
the blue line. Yeah.
The blue line's really old.
Yeah. Really old. But this is just a good team.
Yeah.
They got one of the best goalies in the NHL, maybe the best goalie in the NHL still.
Yep.
In Vasilevsky. They got one of the best top lines in the NHL.
Yep.
In Gensel, Point, Kucherov.
Yep. Insanely
good line. Kucherov, one of the best offensive players in the NHL at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe the best. Could be.
Yeah. I think he's in the debate.
Yeah. They got Hagel and Sorelli, and we won't talk about who else is going to be on their other line, but that's 2/3 of the best second line in the NHL.
Yeah.
You know? And then that's kind of where it ends.
Yeah. It gets, Nick Paul's pretty good on the third line.
When he comes back from injury.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick Paul's a good 3C.
Yep.
You know, Oliver Borkstrand is a solid winger, I guess, but there's just not enough sauce there for them to withstand any injuries. And then after Hedman, the quality of their blue line is just in the dumpster. I mean, JJ Moser on the top pairing. Like, please, can we? Yeah. Please, can we? Please.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's some question marks about depth, but there's no question about, the proven playoff performances of these players, right? All these players that we've talked about have been to the playoffs, have done this stuff. Most of them have won a Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Right? Like, most of them have won 2 Stanley Cups.
Yep.
Right? Like, this is still a team that is as scary as any of the other ones. I'm just a little more worried about their depth than some of the other teams that I've got on a little higher than them.
Yep.
So this is part of why the Atlantic is one of the scariest divisions in the NHL.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're freaking good. They are freaking good.
They definitely are.
It's just a great hockey. I mean, it's crazy how many good hockey players you can just fit onto that team.
Yeah.
Another crazy good team in the Atlantic. I've got the Toronto Maple Leafs next.
Number 8.
They had a good offseason. As much as you can say they had a good offseason losing Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
You're never going to be better after losing a 100-point player.
Yeah.
After losing a Mitch Marner. But they filled up all of the depth slots to me that they had always been lacking in.
Yeah.
So, this third line looks way better than any third line that they've fielded in a long time. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of things to be excited about for this Maple Leafs team. I don't know what their ceiling is because it's the Maple Leafs and they've been just the worst playoff underperformers that you can possibly imagine. It's unreal how many ways I know you. I don't have to tell you, but it's unreal how many ways this team has found to disappoint its fans come playoff time. How many amazing teams have just not been able to get it done. But I mean, this is a good team.
Stare off into the void of despair of being a Leafs fan.
This is a great freaking team. It's crazy. It's crazy how good this team is. So, we'd love to see them get someone a little better than Morgan Riley as their power play captain and kind of de facto one offensive C. But if Stolarz has a year anywhere close to what he was showing last year before he got injured. Great team.
Yeah.
Great team. So, and I'm expecting a bounce back from Matthews as well.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. I mean,
he
hoping. Went from being an all-world goal scorer to being this world goal scorer, just one of the best still, but
not a 35 goal down season. Man, I only got 35.
Yeah, but he had 69 the year before that.
Yeah.
69, Colin.
It is a 50% drop.
And insane. So I don't think he'll score 69 again.
Probably not.
But if we get 50, I think that's within his wheelhouse easy, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if he's healthy. If he's healthy, he's a lock for 45, 50.
Exactly. So I think a healthy year out of Matthews and some interesting depth changes to this team, I think could potentially, there's diminishing returns with Mitch Marner, where, they were just so top heavy already.
Yeah.
They were just so top heavy already, right? Can Matthews still score 50 goals with Max Domi and Matthew Nyes on his wing?
Probably.
I think so. I think so.
Or, we try Nylander with Matthews again, or Michelli's, something.
Right. Potentially a guy. Yeah, there's a lot of ways for them to answer that question, and then the rest of the roster looks the depth looks way better than say the Lightning, for instance, especially their blue line. Right.
Yeah.
That depth looks really, really good. This is one of the best blue lines that I can think of, just in terms of just raw depth. Every guy is going to go out there and going to give you solid, consistent performances.
Yeah,
not a weak link there. So that's pretty awesome. Honestly, that's a huge part of being a big playoff team, right? Is just having that consistent blue line.
Yep.
So yeah, great team. Great team. And then the last team in my will make the playoffs tier is the Winnipeg Jets.
Winnipeg at 7.
Winnipeg at 7. And they got worse, Colin.
They did. I think
they lost
there's no argument to put them lower.
There probably is. They lost Nick Ehlers.
Yep.
And they didn't really replace him at all. And so the Maple Leafs lost Marner, a similar thing, but in turn they bolstered a lot of their depth, and they added a lot of depth forwards and some guys that have the upside to potentially not replace Mitch Marner, but be top 6 guys. Right? Top 6 guys. Yeah, in the aggregate, right? Be top 6 guys. I'm not so sure that Winnipeg did that at all.
No.
Right. We've got Nyquist. That was the replacement for Nick Ehlers, and hoping that I don't know. So you look at this team, and I love this team's blue line.
Yeah.
I love this team's blue line. It's just so good. Josh Morrissey is great, right? They've got great guys behind him. Sandberg got injured in the preseason, but I love Sandberg. Love Dylan DeMello, and then Connor Hellebuyck is coming off one of the best seasons ever.
Yeah.
And he's still one of the best regular season goalies ever.
Yep.
The ceiling for this team depends on if he can get it together in the playoffs. But also other things. But I just don't see any world where this team misses the playoffs ever.
Probably not. But a Hellebuyck injury.
Yeah, but that would be a major enough
injury.
Yeah, those are major enough injuries that I'm gonna But yeah,
but I mean, if Scheifele goes out, what is Jonathan Taves gonna be the 1C?
Yeah.
Or say Adam Lowry comes back in time for the Scheifele injury. Is Adam Lowry your 1C? I think there's a lot of.
There's certainly some questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth questions on this team.
Maybe I have them a little bit too high, but I just think if they just get another healthy season, this team is just such a lock for the playoffs.
Yeah, if Hellebuyck wins the Vezina, then
right. And I think if he's healthy, he's just gonna win, or not win, but he's gonna have another top 3 Vezina year.
Yep,
for sure. And I think this blue line is just fantastic. So and there's enough pieces in the rest of their team. They're honestly it isn't their bottom 6 that's terrible, right? It's it's more so the middle 6 kind of.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Where they kind of need to fill out those roles. Jonathan Taves is probably not should be a 2C for a playoff team.
Yeah.
But if they get enough contributions out of everything, I don't know. They're a weird team, but I just have a lot of faith in them because of Helly, because of this blue line, and because, Connor, Scheifele, Velarde is still an incredible first line.
Yeah, it is.
Kyle Connor is one of the best goal scorers in the NHL.
Yep.
Kind of hard for me to. I could have probably put him below maybe the Lightning. Maybe 2 slots lower than this is where they're appropriate to be, but I don't know.
I think them having a full blue line helps them a lot.
Yeah, I think having a full blue line is a little more important than having full
second line, or 2/3 of a second line, I guess
2/3 of a second line. Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't know. Well. They're definitely an interesting team.
Yeah.
I think we'll know pretty quick, honestly, with them where they're gonna be. So they could be volatile. I have them here, but I could see them dropping as low as the bottom of this tier.
Yeah.
If they come out the gate and they look terrible. I don't know. There's a world where they drop lower than that just because the Central is so tough. But
yeah. If they lose a bunch of divisional games, then
yeah.
I think they'll be. I don't think they're going to win a President's Trophy this year.
Yeah.
I think they'll be worse. But also, I didn't think they were going to do it last year. I didn't think they were going to be a President's Trophy caliber team. So, who knows? Maybe they didn't need Nick Ehlers after all.
I think they kind of needed Nick Ehlers.
I think they definitely need Nick Ehlers.
Yeah.
But it might not be that big of a deal.
Can I offer you a slightly used Ricard Raquel?
I think that wouldn't be the worst move for them.
I think they will probably make some moves to shore up that.
Unless Cole Perfetti turns into goal Perfetti, if he just drops a 30, 32, 35 goal season,
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Cole Perfetti. I think he's got a lot to his game. So there's some potential answers here, but there's also a lot of questions.
Yep.
So it's weird to say for a team it's weird to say for a team that I have ranked 7, but like the things that they have that are good are just so good. Like the blue line, the goalies, the top line, like those are just so good. So you just have to assume that they're going to be able to find the rest of the pieces amongst what they've got and what they can acquire. So,
and I think like going back to you saying like there's what did we say, 22 teams that could make the playoffs, and like how there's like the depth of the NHL is really good, and there's a lot of contender-ish teams, serious teams. I think they're also at the top. All these teams kind of have at least one big question. So there's not, I don't think flawless teams
because of the Barkov injury. I'll agree with you there. But pre-Barkov injury, Florida was actually you could even say Bob is a question mark sometimes during the regular season. So I mean you're right. Every single team in the NHL has some weaknesses, right? Yeah. So it's about what you can do to fix those and cover up for them. Yep. So yeah. All right. With that, I think we should move into the Cup favorites tier. These are the top 6 teams. Yep. Maybe I should have made it 5, but I think there's 6. 5 is just a cleaner number, but I think these teams are all teams that could win the Stanley Cup this year.
Yes.
If I had to place a bet, I would bet that the Stanley Cup winner is one of the 6 teams. That is like the most confident that I can be. I wouldn't make a bet of any of these 1 teams winning or anything like that, but I think it's going to be one of these 6 teams. I think I've picked out one of the 6 teams that it's going to be right here. So at the bottom of this tier, at number 6, I have Carolina, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think a lot of people are higher on Carolina than I am. I still love Carolina. I think this team is really good. But I think they have quite a few questions, actually.
Yeah.
The first one is their 2C situation.
Yep.
Logan Stankoven is currently set to be their 2C.
Yep.
I think we'll see.
Yep.
You know, he's 22 years old. He's looked like a winger the entire time that he's been decent in the NHL. Does he have 2C in him? He could, maybe. And then the bottom 6 doesn't really have any scoring potential at all. To me, they're kind of just like grinders and defensive guys, and like that's good. But like, you know, is that where maybe the offense runs dry? At this point, these teams are locks for the playoffs, right? And now I'm talking about what is a playoff, what is like their playoff matchups look like, right? And when I look at this Carolina team, I'm just a little questioning of that. You know, it's like kind of a similar issue to the Jets.
Yeah.
But you know, they've got a lot of good defensive players in their bottom 6, but do they have a lot of, you know, guys that are going to go get you a goal when you need one? Because sometimes you need your third line to be able to do that, right? And then I think their defense group is really, really good.
Yeah.
But there are still some questions about fit, about how things are going to happen together. So, you know, how is Keandre Miller going to be in this group, right? How is Alexander Nikishin gonna come and look in the NHL? Obviously, he looks very solid in the playoffs and in the preseason, but like, you know, can he put together a full 82 of looking like a really good player? You know, there's just some questions. And then Freddie Anderson.
Yeah.
Is he going to be healthy?
No.
Yeah.
That's why he's a long-time Freddie Anderson follower. No,
right?
He will not.
So this is the team that acquired Nick Ehlers from the Jets. And so their top group looks insanely good.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of great things about this Carolina group, but I still have a lot of questions. And so if I get some answers to those questions early on in the season, they're a team that could jump up even all the way to being like top 3, I could see.
Yeah.
But right now where they're at, I just have a couple of questions. So, you know, yeah, that's where Carolina's at for me, is at 6. And then at number 5, I have the Dallas Stars.
Okay.
Yep. I think that the Dallas Stars are obviously a really good team if they're a top 5 team in the NHL.
Yep.
They got some questions about the depth of their blue line. They got a third pairing that I have no faith in at all. And they got, you know, like a four. Like I don't know. Like if Sagan gets injured, which he's gonna get injured.
Yep.
Like who do they have? Like what are we looking at here? Like this forward depth is like extremely questionable. You know.
Yeah.
And they're like right up against the salary cap and thinking about long term between Harley and Robertson that are both guys that are going to need to get paid next year, right?
Yes.
Two guys on expiring deals that are incredibly good players, right? And I think something's going to give. And I think if they're smart, something's going to give this season, not next season.
Yeah, they're going to have to get creative, I think.
Because there's no way they can afford to pay Harley the $9 million that he's going to make, because he's going to make I want to say that the market is set at $9 million here.
Yep.
That's what Lacombe got. That's what Luke Hughes got.
Yep.
Harley is the same tier as those guys, right? Maybe he might even be the best out of that group.
I'd probably take Hughes, but yeah,
questionable.
Yeah.
Right. He's right at that level, right? Yeah. So he's going to make $9 million.
Yep.
Robertson is going to make more than his 7.75, right? I don't know, and they still have Sagan next year, and they have holes in this roster that they're going to want to fill, right?
Yep.
So to me, this is a team that's going to make some kind of desperate play at the deadline, or maybe before, something like that. I think they kind of need that. Or they
treat one of Robertson or Harley, rumors are Robertson, as like a rental.
Yeah.
And then, figure it out after the season and trade his rights, like Leafs did with Marner or something.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then that makes less of an impact on my rankings right now. But I still think there's a lot of questions here.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's a really good team. I mean, you can't say that a team with Heiskanen and Harley to the top 20, 25.
Yeah. 25-ish.
Defensemen in the NHL. Yeah. You can't say that's not a great start to a blue line. And then they've got some pieces like an Asa Lindell around that. And then they got Ottinger, one of the best goalies. And I mean, Robertson, Hintz, Rannon is one of the top. Like, that's an insanely good top line, right? Yeah. Like Duchesne, one of the best 2Cs. I had just insanely good year last year, right? Like they've got so many of these good pieces, but their depth compared to last year is way worse.
Yeah.
And they didn't have what it takes to get it done last year.
Yeah, they didn't have great depth last year.
Yeah. So I'm a little worried about them here, but like there's just too many good pieces here for me to rate them any lower than 5.
So many games.
Yeah.
But like I just don't know if they'll win the important ones.
Right. Yeah. What are they going to look like in the playoffs? Yeah. That's going to be the question. So,
but like all these, they're going to just blow up these teams down here. They're going to be dropping orbital nukes on these teams.
Yeah. Wyatt Johnston, by the way, didn't mention his name, but what an incredibly good player. Like, what the hell? How do they just keep finding 22-year-old like studs? Like, what is this?
Yep.
Oh my God. 30 goals?
Yeah.
30 goal a year last year? And the year, like,
it was kind of a bit of a down year for like the expectations.
Yeah, this guy is just crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they found another one of those guys right there. So, and I don't know if any of, maybe Maverick Bourque ends up that guy too, I'm not convinced, but like there's
he won a AHL MVP 2 years ago for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not bad.
He's got very good potential. So they're interesting team, a lot of questions, but a lot of things to love, right? Yeah. A lot of things to love.
Yep.
Okay, at number 4, I have the Colorado Avalanche.
Yep. That makes sense to me.
Yep. This team is really good.
These two teams are very, very similar in my mind.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Both of them have like just insanely good top ends.
Yeah.
Some of the best top end in the entire NHL.
Yep.
And then there's a lot of questions about depth and who's going to fill it out outside of that.
Yeah.
Colorado gets the bonus of health to me.
Yeah.
Little bonus thing, but I think
Landeskog's coming off of not playing for like since their last cup.
Yeah, Nichushkin's never gotten one together,
Yeah.
So they're Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird team.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon.
Yep.
They have the best defenseman and probably the second or third best center.
Yeah.
In the National Hockey League, right? And then there's good pieces around that, right? Like I don't know. This whole top 6 of Colorado looks good.
Yeah.
You know, and then their bottom 6 is a little questionable, but it's not terrible.
No.
And then their defensive core, like they got Devon Taves, who's, also, we talked about Dallas has 2 top 25 defensemen. So does Colorado.
Yep.
And, Makar is number 1, while, maybe Miro is top 7.
Yeah.
If we're being generous.
Yep.
Right. So this is really good. Now, one thing, they're a little more questionable with Blackwood, Wedgwood as their goaltending duo. I would be a little bit less confident in that than Ottinger, but I mean, I don't know. Blackwood is a good goalie.
Yeah, looked good last year.
So yeah, it was good last year. So this team is definitely more complete than the Stars, which is why I have them higher than them.
Yeah.
There's still some questions about forward depth. That final pairing, Malinsky Burns, a little questionable. And then goalie, like, there's some questions. There's some questions, but I mean, this is the most complete team we've talked about so far, and that's why they're the highest, in my mind.
Yeah.
So that's why I've got them at 4. And at number 3, I have the Florida Panthers. This was my easy number 1 before the Barkov injury. And before, I guess, we knew that we're going to miss all of Tkachuk for that long. But, I mean, even without Barkov and Tkachuk, this is a team that obviously is coming off 2 straight Stanley Cup wins.
Yeah.
2 straight, like, pretty comfortable Stanley Cup wins. I mean, I guess they went to 7 2 years ago, but, like, it was a weird 7 where I feel like they looked like they were the better team for basically the entire series.
Yeah. Edmonton came back from like 3-0 to force game 7.
Yeah. So I mean, like they had the upper hand for most of the series, and then they finished it. But like, this is still, I don't know. They just had so many pieces. It's hard to like, basically their second line would be a first line on several teams. Their third line would be a second line on almost any team. So they've just kind of pushed those guys up, and then they still have like some depth behind them. You know what I mean? Like, they still have some guys, and then their defensive group is still incredibly good.
Yep.
Maybe the best in the entire NHL, probably the best in the entire NHL.
I'd say so.
And then Bobrovsky's a proven playoff goalie for the last 2 years in a row. So the questions for this team, if we're treating them as a Barkov-less and Tkachuk-less team, is depth. But once they get those guys back, which I think they probably will get both those guys back come playoff time, they'll definitely have Tkachuk back.
Oh yeah,
we'll see about Barkov
in January or December.
We'll see about Barkov, but Tkachuk coming back makes them significantly deeper, and then obviously Barkov is one of the best centers in the National Hockey League and is incredible. So if he comes back for the playoffs, they immediately go back to number 1 in my mind. But that's the big question for me. I think even without Barkov, I think they can still make huge waves.
Yeah, they'll still
right.
Be good.
Like this defense group is too good. They play too good of like just consistent hockey, where they just play to their system, and they have all these guys that just grind and score and make you make mistakes, and they hit you, and they play the best kind of playoff hockey that you could possibly play.
Yeah,
like. And so that didn't change. So despite losing, one of the best players in the National Hockey League, I still think the group here is really good. Yeah. So just not quite as good, obviously, as with Barkov. Yeah. So and with Barkov and Tkachuk, the only question mark is that Bob is 37.
Yeah.
And maybe some health issues happen, or maybe the fall off starts here, and they don't really have a backup option for him.
Yeah. I also do wonder, like, every team is going to have injuries this season, and it is October 5th. Season has not started yet, and they're already down like 2 major players, like if they have another injury, which like Ekblad hasn't been the healthiest player, like how many can this team sustain and stay afloat?
Yeah.
Like this is a big boat,
true.
and you know that it can withstand some holes, but like how many holes?
Right.
Until
when your baseline
underwater.
holes are Barkov and Kachuk that you're losing for this long, like how many other injuries can they afford to have early in the season where they'll still be able to play winning hockey, right?
Yeah. And like half this roster is going to go to the Olympics, which is they're not going to get that 3-week break.
Right.
That
and they've played more hockey than any other team.
Yeah.
Over the last 3 years.
Yep.
So yeah, for sure. And then, like we've said, there's teams like Montreal in the Atlantic just knocking, right?
Yep.
Just waiting to see if there's room for them. So I mean, you know, that's the world where the Panthers miss, but I wouldn't bet on it.
No,
I wouldn't bet against this team. No. Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore. All right, at number 2, I have put the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Okay.
I have put the Vegas Golden Knights. They added Mitch Marner.
They did.
So they're an incredibly good team.
Yes, they did.
Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy to be able to add a Mitch Marner to an already good team. This top 6 is crazy.
Yeah. I'd say top 9.
This top 9 is crazy. I'd agree with that.
Because I like that third line a lot.
I like that third line a lot too. No, you're right. And Aiden Hill is a competent goalie.
Yep.
This is a great blue line with Hannafin, Theodore, good pieces around him. Maybe this is the most complete team that we've talked about in terms of like not really having holes.
Yeah.
In my mind, I think there's a lot of question marks about health with a lot of the key players on this team.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Devil's Light, where I'd be worried about an Eichel injury. I'd be worried about a Stone injury. You know, I'd be worried about Herschel. You know, like all these like there's just guys here that are that have like a history of injuries.
Missed a lot of time.
Theodore's missed a lot of time, right? And he's going to get more usage now than he ever has before, right? As like the actual 1D of this team. So there's just some questions there about health. But, I mean, really, it's just this is a very complete team.
Yep.
And the thing that puts, because obviously the Oilers are the team that I haven't mentioned, the thing that I think puts the Oilers ahead of them is the ceiling.
Yeah.
Because to me, Eichel is a top 8, 7 center, maybe something in that range. You know, Marner is a top 5-ish wing.
Yep,
5-ish wing, and then no one else on the team is really in that same conversation where they're in the top 10 of their position group.
Yeah.
And we talked about Florida, where I'd probably put I'd put Bob up there for goalies. I'd put Barkov up there. I'd put Sam Reinhart up there.
Yep.
I'd put Bennett up there for 2 Cs. Like, I'd put one of their 2 defensemen in top 10, but probably both of them are 15-ish.
Yep.
Right? Between Forsling and Ekblad. You look at Colorado, we got McKinnon, we got Makar. That's it. But like, there's still 2 guys that are top 2 at their position, right?
Yeah.
You look at the Stars, and we talked about Heiskanen. We didn't talk about Rantanen being a top 10 winger, but he is.
Yep.
Right. You know, like there's at one of Duchesne or Wyatt Johnston is a top 10 2C in the NHL,
and the other
right?
one's
Maybe
top.
both of them are right.
Yeah. Whichever one you don't pick is like a top 3C.
Yeah, exactly. So like position, and then you know, and for Carolina, they've got I think also similar ceiling issues maybe to Vegas. So in terms of not having like the best player, but like you kind of this isn't basketball. You don't need like the best player to do stuff, but it sure helps having the best player on the ice at all times, right?
Yeah.
And
Kucherov definitely won Tampa some cups.
Yeah,
and Vasi.
Exactly. So that's where I think that this happens. They also have like I said, with the injury concerns, they've got some depth issues for guys that are going to be able to step up and play in those positions. But I mean, I just question this, that if they have the ceiling to make it all the way. But not a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they're top 2.
Yep.
So, and then number 1, I have the Oilers. It's hard to lose games when you have the best player on the ice for, 40 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Like they're...
And when you're down 1 and you need to win with the last 5 minutes, you can just ice the 2 best players in the game for 5 minutes.
Exactly. And they'll just do it, and they'll just find you goals. They'll just find goals that no other player in the National Hockey League can do. I mean, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl both being on the same team is an absolute cheat code.
Yep.
It's an absolute cheat code. And it's not like the team behind them is bad.
No.
Like, this is a fine forward group.
Yeah.
Right? It's fine. It's not a great forward group, but it's fine. And it obviously, you have McDavid and Draisaitl, so it doesn't matter as much. And then this blue line is way better than it has any right to be.
Oh, yeah.
For how much money is being spent on Darnell Nurse and all this other stuff. Like, this is still, a top 10 blue line group in the National Hockey League.
Yep.
And, the only question for them, and the reason that they haven't won any cups, is because they haven't addressed their goalie issue.
Yeah.
And if they do manage to find something, then instantly, I think super favorites. But even if they don't, Florida is the only team that has been able to match up against them.
Yeah.
Because Florida had 3 lines, right? Florida had 3 scoring, hitting, defensive lines. And the Oilers have 2 Draisaitl McDavids, right? They have 2 all-world players versus 3 lines. So I think that's where Florida had the advantage.
Yeah.
And that's why they were able to win. But with Barkov gone, Florida no longer has 3 lines. So for me, in the regular season, this is the best team.
And McDavid
I don't think
gets unlocked with no Barkov.
Yes. Exactly. Barkov, the only thing that has been able to slow down McDavid. In the last two Stanley Cup Finals. So to me, I don't think any other team is going to be able to do what Florida was able to do to the Oilers. And I think even if Stuart Skinner is not a good goalie, and even if they don't make any upgrades, so even if Stuart Skinner is not a good goalie and they never make an upgrade to him, I just don't see how any of these other teams are able to match up against the 2 best players in the National Hockey League, basically, for that amount of time. It's just crazy. Crazy how good this team is. Yeah. So,
and Hyman is expected to come back in November. So that just bolsters this depth.
Yep.
So, yeah, this team is seems really good. All right, so we're gonna do our preseason season ending predicting standings. This is 2 days before the regular season kicks off, and we're gonna pick what we think is gonna be the final standings of these teams for each division, and then we're gonna also pick the wild card teams. We're gonna start with the Pacific. I assume we're picking the same team for 8th of the San Jose Sharks.
Yes, San Jose Sharks.
Yeah. This team's just not going to be very good. At 7, I assume we're also going to pick Calgary?
I put Seattle, actually.
You put Seattle below Calgary? Yeah. Okay.
I just think they're underperformers,
I think Calgary is going to sell off enough pieces to finish below Seattle.
I think that these teams are going to be within a couple points of each other, probably. Yeah. They're both bad, and they're going to have not very many points, and they'll be within a couple points of each other.
I assume you pick Calgary then at 6?
Yeah.
I pick Seattle at 6.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, these teams not going to be very good. At 5, I bet we did not pick the same thing.
I put Anaheim.
I put the LA Kings.
Okay. You think they're going to miss?
I think they're going to miss. I think they're too old. And I think They're too vulnerable to injuries, and I think they're going to disappoint.
I would be completely honest with you, Colin. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I think that the National Hockey League is a better place when Anaheim and Vancouver are better than Los Angeles. I don't like the way that the Kings are. I don't like the way that the Kings are constructed. Yeah. I don't like the moves that they made in the offseason. If they got punished for it, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I'd be cool. I'd be cool with me. So
yeah, I think this team is not going to be good.
Yeah. Plus, them collapsing gives my boys in Anaheim a little bit of a better chance of making it. So, and I really hope that that's the case. I don't think it's going to happen, but I hope it's the case.
Yeah. I don't know how high the ceiling is for Anaheim. I have Anaheim at 4, kind of by default. Next up, there's not that Anaheim's going to be great, but I think that just like LA is going to have a really rough year.
Yeah.
And Anaheim just kind of by default scoots up a bit. And I think some guys are going to progress, but I don't think it's going to be like, oh my God, Anaheim's scary now. Who did you have it for?
Vancouver.
You have Vancouver at 4. Okay.
Wait, no. Yes, Vancouver at 4. Yeah, I have Vancouver at 4.
Okay.
I have the Kings beating them at 3.
Okay. Yep.
I don't have the most faith in the Canucks, unfortunately.
No.
That's not a. I don't know. I guess like as much as I want the Kings to implode, I still think that like the stability that team has is just way more than what either Anaheim or Vancouver has to offer. Like Vancouver just is not a stable team. So I'm hoping for a bounce back year from them, because I think when they're good, they're a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes is maybe the most fun player to watch in the NHL in my mind. Dude's just electric with the puck. It's crazy.
Yeah. I have Vancouver at 3. Full spoiler alert for later. I would not pick them in a 1 through 8 West. I'd pick 6 teams from the Central over Vancouver.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think this team just has a good blue line. I think Pettersson's bouncing back. I'm buying Pettersson stocks.
Yeah.
I also am buying their depth up front being sneaky good, because I think there's going to be some young guys who are going to come in and be excited and do things. I have questions about how good that depth is going to be come playoff time. I think that depth is going to get eaten up by some more veteran teams, but I think it's going to win some games in the regular season. And I'm also kind of buying on Demko being solid. I don't know if he's going to be like top 10 Demko, but like I think he's going to be a fine goalie this year. I think that is enough to get you 3rd in the Pacific.
Yeah. No, it's a tough state of
also,
things.
Also, LA's falling apart in my prediction, so somebody has to get 3rd.
Right. No, I mean, spoiler alert, our top 2 are going to be Vegas and Edmonton.
Yes.
In whatever order. We'll get to that in a second. But it's hilarious because we just did our tier list, and those are the top 2 teams in the NHL in my mind. Right? Those were my top 2. And in the Pacific here, and then just absolute dumpster fire after that. Absolute dumpster fire after that.
Do you have Edmonton at 1?
I have Vegas at 1.
Same. I think there's going to be more consistent throughout the year to get that top spot.
I think it'll be close. I don't think it's
a
really
roller coaster in the regular season every year.
Yeah. They've just had swingy stuff. They've got way worse goaltending.
Yeah.
So like Stuart Skinner's going to give away some games, and then you just hope that he gets it together come playoff time.
Yeah.
Gets it together. But like you know what I mean. Like they're going to give up games that way. Obviously if there's any, I think they're a little bit more, not more injury prone, but more vulnerable to lose, like to the injuries that could potentially happen, where like guys miss like a couple games because they're nicked and stuff like that. Like Vegas just has a little bit more depth, I guess. Not really depth, but just like a little, So I think they're a little bit better structured for the regular season.
Yeah, I agree.
And Edmonton's a little bit better structured for the playoffs in my mind. So,
yeah, yeah, it's weird because I disagree, but also I would pick them.
Yeah,
even though I don't
like
think
in
well but like
yeah.
if you're just like who's going to win a series between Edmonton and Vegas right now, I'm like Edmonton.
It's hard to bet against Edmonton.
Yeah. Next up is the Central Division.
Yep.
I assume we're going to talk about the Chicago Blackhawks at 8.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, they're really bad. Unless all these young guys just come in and just like take the league by storm, but that will not happen.
I mean, I guess if there's any there's a chance that they wouldn't be 8 in some divisions, including this division. Like, there's a world where guys come in and are good, and then that good equates to a couple more wins, and then that is better than a team. Like I put them at 32, right?
You did.
My thing. So obviously, I think they're gonna have the worst record in the NHL this year.
On my list.
I mean, fair enough.
But I mean, they're at 31 to me.
It's closer this year than it was last year. I'll tell you that.
I think they got another defenseman is gonna have a good year.
Maybe so.
I don't know which one, but one of them will have a good year. The rest of them,
how many of them are gonna have dumpster fire years that don't look like they should be in the National Hockey League, and then
at least 2.
So
yeah,
I don't know. Okay.
Then I assume we're talking about Nashville at 7.
Yep. Nashville at 7.
Yep. This team also kind of sucks. Also might just sell off a bunch of pieces.
Yep.
If they embrace the tank.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if they embrace the tank, but I don't think they have unfortunately, like, the team isn't great. I think they're bad, obviously, but they could be better in a less stacked division. Like, they could win more games.
I think they will be better than last year.
Yeah, I think they'll be better than last year. And I think, like, if you threw them into, like, the Pacific, for instance, I'm not saying they're making the playoffs, but maybe they're making more waves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe they have more of an outside chance. Like, they are certainly closer than you'd expect, but, I mean, I just can't see them beating any of these other teams in the Central, just based off of how much worse they are. So,
I mean, you had a graph, and if I have enough time, I'll put it in right here visually of like I think the expected goals for and next to expected goals against, and like Nashville was on like the should have been a good team analytically side last year. So like if Yossi's healthy and Saros doesn't suck, and they play the exact same,
right? They should theoretically win more games.
Yeah, they should be better, but I'm not confident that this team will be any better. But they got Evangelista done, so that doesn't carry over into the season.
Nice.
Although he also didn't do any training camp, so maybe he's going to go off to a slow start.
That's
okay. This is where I think the debates will begin.
Yeah.
Who do you have at 6?
Utah.
I have Minnesota.
Okay.
I have Minnesota. Okay. I just have too many questions with Minnesota. And Kaprizov's had one healthy season in his career.
And he's going to have a second. Right now, he's going to have a full healthy season. He's going to put up a gajillion points, and he's going to win. He's going to win a Hart.
Maybe. I just don't know.
He looked like he was going to do it last year until the injury happened. Until he got hurt. But I just mean like he was on Hart pace until then.
Yeah.
So
also, is Yerchek going to be ready for like full NHL deployment?
Does he have to be? I thought they had a.
Do they have one? I thought he was in the projected.
He might be in the projected, but doesn't mean he's
no.
He's gotta,
No. I mean, they could roll out. I mean, they'll get Brodin back at some point.
Yeah, that was who I was thinking of. So, yeah.
I forgot Brodin was hurt, but yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I think they'll have only, unless Yerchek looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it'll just be William. That'll be the question mark, and I don't know. I think he'll probably be pretty good. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think he'll be pretty good. So, I think it could actually be pretty cool if he's able to be solid. So another guy I like a lot is Danila Yurov. Who's on their fourth line right now, projected, but I could see him being as high as second line come playoff time. Yeah. So
Liam
he's
Ogren
got
has looked really good. Didn't look good in the NHL last year, but
they've got such an interesting mix between like really old guys and like really young guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think even with Kaprizov missing a few games, this is still a pretty solid roster with a lot of guys that could potentially be. I also think Brock Faber still hasn't had a good year, and I think he's due for one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to get. He's. I think we're going to get a good year out of Brock Faber. So I think we'll get a 50-point year out of Brock Faber. That's my prediction right now.
All right.
Well, you don't think so? You don't like the Brock Faber 50-point year prediction?
I don't know. Minnesota's just not been that kind of a team. But maybe if their power play gets,
they're moving that direction. I would say
exciting players on it, like a Yurov or an Ogren, or like Tarasenko comes in and is just like a power play merchant.
I also think if Marco Rossi gets a full year as the 1C on this team and they don't like lose faith in him and drop him down to the third or fourth line, like it's going to look a lot better offensively.
Yeah.
I don't know if it looks better defensively, but I think it looks a lot better offensively. I think he's got a lot more sauce to his game than like Eriksson Ek does if they were to move him up to the first line. So I like Minnesota's roster construction. I just don't like the ceiling quite to it. So
and like I said with Vancouver, I would pick Minnesota to make the playoffs in a 1-8 West.
Yeah, I would pick Utah to be better than I don't know. Maybe they aren't. Maybe they don't have as good of a regular season, but I think they would win in a. I would think they would win in a playoff series against any team in the in the Pacific outside of Vegas and Edmonton. So, yeah.
At 5, do you have Minnesota?
Yes. At 5, I have Minnesota.
I have Utah.
So
here,
yeah. So we flipped those.
Yep.
I think reasonable. I think they'll be close. I think Utah will be fighting for that playoff spot. I just think I like the Wild a little better, hoping Kaprizov stays healthy. So
yeah, I just feel a little bit better about Utah's 12-man forward group.
I am excited to see what a full year of this Utah group looks like.
Yeah.
Between full year of Logan Cooley, another good year from Logan Cooley, between Paterka now being on this team. It's a cool looking forward group for sure. And like a solid defensive group as well. Like got no complaints with their blue line besides like
I worry some of the injuries of this blue line.
That's true.
Marino and Jersey, not the most stable pair of guys. So, and then it's like, what is Nate Schmidt suddenly like going to be paired next to Sergachev? Like, I don't think that's preferable. So
that's fair enough. So,
and I think Vejmelka is good enough to like get them to the playoffs. I don't think he's good enough to make noise in said playoffs. But also, I don't. He also might not be good enough to get them to the playoffs. Like Gustafsson might just win enough games to put Minnesota over.
Gustafsson is definitely the more proven goalie, I guess.
Like a million times out of a million.
Yeah, despite how he was. So.
Yeah. So.
All right. Who do you have at 4?
At 4, this is where the hot take machine starts. I have the Jets.
Yeah, I kind of thought about it. I have no doubt that they're gonna make the playoffs, and I have them high up in my tier list. But I thought about it. But I do have the Blues here. I do think Hellebuyck is just gonna do enough. I guess my prediction is that
very likely
is that Helly will just do enough to get them at thing. But I like this Blues roster is really good.
I love this Blues roster.
Yeah.
Benner might just lose them too many games.
Yeah.
But
Benner's gonna lose them the games that Benner will win them the games that Helly will also win, but he's also gonna lose you games that Helly just doesn't lose. Yeah. So,
but in the playoffs, he's gonna win the games that Helly loses.
That's true. I like Binner in the playoffs for sure. So yeah, I like this Blues roster. It'll be interesting. The Central is such an interesting division. What a cool thing that we have different. Wait, are we gonna have all different except for Nashville and Chicago? Because who do you have at 3? Obviously, you have the Blues. I have Winnipeg.
I do not have the Blues.
Oh, who do you have at 3?
I have Colorado.
You have Colorado at 3.
I have Colorado at 3.
Oh my gosh, you really like the Blues roster. I see.
I love the Blues roster. Also, I just have too many questions about Colorado's depth and how good is Blackwood going to be? Because he's been very good. He's also had questionable seasons in his career.
That's true. No, I mean when they had Georgiev at the beginning of last year. And I'm not saying Blackwood is going to be Georgiev, right? But when they had Georgiev at the beginning of last year, they did not look very good at all.
No, they look terrible.
So there definitely are questions there. I think that's
what's Natchez' fit. Mm-hmm. They didn't figure it out last year, but they acquired him mid-season, and he was replacing Rantanen, which is
completely
one of the hardest things to do as a winger
player to replace.
So are they going to figure out his fit this year? Nichushkin and Landeskog, how many games are you going to get there?
They do get a full year out of Brock Nelson, though.
They do get a full year of Brock Nelson. But, I don't know. If McCann gets hurt, this team is just brutal.
That's true. But unlike some other teams, those guys are a little bit healthier.
They're very stable players.
Those guys are a little bit healthier.
I just have a lot of questions, particularly with the forward depth of this team. And the forwards that are not McKinnon and Nelson.
Yeah.
And Drew. I like Drury a lot as a 3C too.
They could have some interesting players have to play for them if they have a couple of injuries and then they're just completely swindled in terms of their depth. But I don't know. I think Blackwood will be good enough.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be good enough to get him there. But I also don't think that the Blues ceiling is quite as high as number 2 in the Central, Colin. I hate to break it to you. I don't
have him
the
at
Blues.
number 2.
You have him at number 1.
I have him at number 2.
Okay, I have that crazy. I have the Avalanche at number 2, which means we do have the same number 1 in the Dallas Stars.
We do have the Dallas Stars.
I just think they're a team that's built for the regular season. Otter's a great workhorse goalie that's going to do well, and DeSmith was a really good backup last year, so that's just a lot of good goaltending that they're going to get, and then they're just going to smother the enemy team with just shots and offense and all this stuff. There's not a lot of better offensive teams top to bottom than the Stars in terms of being able to just go out there and score goals. They're not that great at goal suppression, and some other good teams will give them hell, which is why I don't think they're favorites for the Stanley Cup. But that style of hockey works really well in the regular season. Oh yeah, you just go out there and score. So
they just have takeover players. Andre will just win them some games by himself. They'll have a terrible night in front of him, and Jake will bail him out. Rantanen will score a hat trick where the team has 19 shots on goal total.
Yep.
And they'll win 3-2. A game that they absolutely have no business winning. They'll be outshot 40-something to 19, and Rantanen will have a hat trick or 2 goals and assists, and he'll just win them the game. They just have some of those guys that are just difference makers. Robertson could do that too. I think he has a little bit less of that pure takeover, but
no, I mean they just have so many guys that can just go out there and just have a game.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in the playoffs. Players don't usually have a game in playoffs.
No,
I mean Rantanen did.
Yeah, but, Rantanen had Rantanen had a week in the playoffs.
He had a week.
He was just God.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, they have too many of those guys. I think they have good enough regular season depth. I think playoff depth is going to be questionable, but Fox, you don't want to be a 3C in the playoffs, but if he has to be a 3C for 2 weeks in the regular season,
he can handle that.
If Bork has to jump into a top 6 role, you don't want that in the playoffs. But if you got to do Bork for 2 weeks in the regular season, sure, no problem.
And they're just gonna outskill enough guys, enough teams rather, to win those those regular season games. I'm pretty confident that they'll win the Central this year.
Yeah.
Barring some crazy injuries.
Yep. Or if they go nuclear for some reason and like trade Robertson or Harley and don't get equivalent back.
It would be Robertson, and I still think I think this team in the regular season can withstand a Robertson loss. I think in the playoffs, I don't think they can withstand a Robertson loss because he's too important to that top line power that they have, I guess, you know.
I think where it'll really hurt is in the bottom 6 because I assume they would just move Johnston up.
Yeah, and then their bottom 6
to
is like
a top 6 winger spot
is like nothing.
But then and then like Fox is okay as a 3 seed, really a 4 seed, but then behind him is Oscar Beck or Nathan Bastian.
Not great.
So, yeah.
So then if I'm tracking, because we both said that the Pacific sucks.
Yep.
And we hate the Pacific. Yep. So your 2 wild card teams are the Utah Mammoth.
Yep.
And the Winnipeg Jets, right? That's who you're thinking are going to be that. So I have the Blues and the Wild as my wild card teams. But both of us agree mostly, on, you have Utah above Minnesota.
Yeah.
But other than that, we agree on the teams that are coming out of this.
Yeah. Our top 4 is the same in just a shaken up order. And then,
Yeah.
I'm a little higher on Utah.
That's interesting, though.
But yeah, I mean, if you also told me that like Minnesota is going to beat Utah out for the last wildcard spot, would not be surprised whatsoever.
To me, those teams are very close.
Yeah.
I just like the Wild a little more.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Well, that was an interesting exercise, I guess, in the in the Western Conference. Let's see about the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
see if we can get some
the Metro here.
The Metro. I'm down. Who do you have at the bottom of the Metro?
I have Pittsburgh.
I have Philly.
I mean, Sidney Crosby might just win more games.
It's Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby will win more games than the Flyers will because the Pittsburgh will win all of their matchups against the Flyers because of Sidney Crosby.
I mean, yes. But like
they'll go equal against the rest of the field, and then Sid will win them more games against Philly, and they're both really fucking bad.
I mean, yes. Yeah.
These teams are both really bad.
I mean, I would just rather have Sanheim than anybody on Pittsburgh's roster, particularly once they trade Carlson, assuming that happens. I'd probably rather have K. York or Nick Seeler than any of the Pittsburgh defensemen as well. So, like, I don't know. I have Philly at 7. I assume you have Pittsburgh at 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy,
I think the floor of Philly as a team is a bit better, but the floor of Sidney Crosby might win.
I don't know. Do I like Tristan Jarry over Samuel Ersson? Maybe. Now that there's literally nothing on the line and everything is bad, Jarry's going to come out here and he's going to be insane. He's going to ruin the tank. That's what he does. He just plays against the interests of the. I don't know. It's an interesting team. The Flyers are a team that has no top end basically, and Pittsburgh is a team that has no depth.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of the forward groups, and then Philly has a better blue line, but it's still a bad blue line, and they have a terrible goalie. Yeah. And Pittsburgh kind of also has a terrible goalie and a terrible. They're both really bad teams. They're both really bad teams.
Yeah, we're splitting irrelevant hairs.
We are splitting irrelevant hairs.
I do wonder,
it's going to be relevant for lottery odds, Colin. It's going to be relevant for lottery odds.
I do wonder if Pittsburgh loses some games that Mike Sullivan won. I like Dan Hughes.
Yeah, but he's not on there for his coaching ability, like behind the bench, like actually.
And if you ask me,
at least not right now,
win more games, I'd say Sullivan over Muse, and I
might
pick Tocchet over Muse as well for just like a guy who can just coach his team to a couple more wins. And I think a couple wins might be all that separates these two.
It might be, but have you thought about the fact Ville Koivunen is gonna win? Okay, no, I can't even say it. But he could have a nice little year for himself, you know.
Koivunen.
We'll see.
Is my favorite of the baby Pens. So
we'll see what this team. We'll see what the Pens look like. Honestly, we'll see how many guys get traded and that kind of stuff. But I think if the Rust, Raquel, Crosby line stays together until the trade deadline, and EK is still on the team, like that's just a better line than the Flyers are capable of icing.
Konechny.
It's significantly better than anything that the Flyers are capable of fielding. So okay. At number 6,
moving to slightly more relevant teams.
Still
Islanders.
Not that relevant. Yeah, I have the Islanders at 6. Yeah. Could be sneaky competing with Columbus if stuff happens, but I still think they're a tier below. Yeah. That's why I have them in
Sorokin could just win them enough games to...
Merzlikins could lose them enough games.
Yeah. To be like a cute push
for I'm assuming we have spot. The same team at 5, right?
Yeah.
Columbus?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Islanders they could push to being a relevant team in like March and April, to where like they could mathematically be just like a couple wins outside, and they just won't find it, or they could also just be kind of terrible.
Keep an eye on them next year. This year is not their year, I think. I think they're going to be not very good this year. But next year, with some guys coming off the books and a little bit of cap space, and another year for Schaefer, I think they could be a sneaky wild card team.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then this Columbus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Merzlikins.
Yeah, it is. It's just the weak link. Like, if they address their goalie situation, I think they could be potentially competing for a wild card spot pretty easily.
Yeah.
Or maybe even getting top 3 in this division that isn't fantastic, I would say. Yeah. You know? So that's really what they need. I
was looking through Columbus for a future segment idea. I was just like browsing the league, and like Columbus has a lot of really good players.
Yeah, they do.
I think Voronkov is maybe the most slept-on player in the league of just being like sneaky great, and Marchenko's right next to him.
How good those two guys are.
Yeah,
you know, both being extremely young, and they're both 25 years old, and they're both really good wingers.
Yeah, and like really good two-way players too.
Yeah. Yeah, that Voronkov, Monahan, Marchenko line that they've run out quite a bit is a really good line.
Yeah.
Really good, like, two-way responsibility and can score a ton of goals.
Yeah.
Like, it's really good. And then we've already talked about how much we love Adam Fantilli.
Yep.
As being one of those guys that's going to be a future stud. And then they got a bunch of other...
Good too.
Yeah. Cole Sillinger could be a guy, Maybe. He's got a couple 30 point years out of him. He's got good two-way play. I don't know. I like him as a bottom 6 piece for sure, We love Charlie Coyle.
Yep.
Love Charlie Coyle.
Yep.
I don't know.
I like
and then obviously Zach Werenski is pretty decent. They got some anchor contracts on this blue line, but
their problem on the blue line is the contracts. Because the players aren't
necessarily
bad.
The personnel.
But like Provorov, if Provorov was making like 5.5, Severson was making like 3, and Goodbranson 2, like you'd be happy.
Yeah.
Because those players are all good. It's just they're making like a combined 10-ish million too much.
Right. Yeah, and that's not a problem for them now because they have so many good guys on like cheap bridge and ELCs, but long term it could potentially hurt
in 2 years when like Voronkov, Marchenko, Fantilli, Sillinger, Johnson are all up and all getting the kind of money they deserve, maybe Matejchuk, then those contracts suddenly become huge boat anchors.
Right. Who do you have at 4?
I have the Devils at 4.
I have the Washington Capitals. I'm still a prayer. I'm still a hoper in the Devils Health. I'm also a Capitals hater.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let that ruin my objectivity for sure. Here.
It's like we talked about with Florida tier list. Like, this team's already dealing with injuries. 2 days before the season starts. I don't remember when they start their season.
Yeah.
But, like, they're already have
crazy.
guys out. And, like,
it's crazy.
On an injury-prone team, more of these guys are going to get hurt. Like, what is this? How many games missed is this roster going to have?
Can we get the Devils some new trainers or something? I don't know what's going on here.
Can we get some priests at the arena, the practice arena? Every religion, we try them all. Get some Buddhist monks in there. Like, I don't know.
No, they need something. They need something. There's some bad juju in the Devils locker room.
I'm just not confident this team will be healthy enough to make a playoff spot again.
Maybe.
I think they are better. I think this is the second best team in the Metro. If we just like turned off injuries, if we go into EA NHL 26 and turn off injuries, then like I think this team's the second best team in the Metro.
Yeah.
But in the real world, I just don't think they're gonna. I think the car is not gonna get across the finish line. I think they'll just be too beat up.
I do think though, they just get a year out of Jack Hughes. They're probably fine. You know what I mean? Like if we had to pick one player to place our protective blessing on to ensure the Devils' success, if we could just ensure that Jack Hughes played 82 games, not even we could just get 78 games.
I'd say it's like
75 games out of Jack Hughes this year.
Yeah,
I think this is why I have them at the third in the Metro. But no, I mean you're probably right. You're probably right, but I hope I'm right because it's a shitty way. It's a shitty way for them to not make the playoffs if that's what you have, or for them to not be one of the top teams in the Metro, right? Yeah. For them to just have this consistent injury issue. Yeah. So
I've been very high on this team for like 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I want to be high on them again, but they've done
times.
Me wrong.
Mm-hmm. No, fair enough.
But maybe I'm the problem. Maybe now that I'm off
that you're off them,
I'm off the bandwagon. Now they're going to be healthy enough, and they're going to go on a run. And now I still look like an idiot with the Devils.
It's just crazy how unlucky they've been.
Yeah.
But okay, who do you have at number 3?
I have the Rangers.
Okay. I have the Devils. So
I think there's too many holes for me to say that the Rangers are going to be great, but I think they're going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sullivan is going to bring wins on his own. Obviously, Sterkin is one of those guys that just wins games. That's why this team has not been terrible, I think, in the past couple of years.
Yep.
I'm thinking we're going to see a bit of a Zibanejad bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen nearly as many videos of him like touring the world as a DJ like the past few summers. Maybe it's just not hitting my feed. But I think he's going to be locked in. I think JT Miller's going to do great things on this team.
Yep.
For now. And I think Gavrikov's going to help Fox out a lot.
Yeah.
And Fox is not going to have like the greatest WAR of all time, like he's had previous years.
I think Will Cooley is a sneaky guy that could score 30 goals this year.
I love Will Cooley. He was the best forward on this team last year.
Yeah, he was crazy. So I think we get 30 goals out of him this year. It's a good looking top 6 if some things go a little bit differently,
Yeah.
And then obviously Fox is due for a bounce back for sure.
I think he is a sneaky Norris pick.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't think Werenski will be quite as otherworldly as he was this year. I think he'll still obviously be really good, but Fox could easily sneak in there into that Norris conversation in his place. So
like I could see Fox having an easier year with having Gavrikov there and being able to put up some stupid 82
Yeah,
point.
some Cale McCarr numbers.
Yeah, well, I don't know about 30 goals, but But yeah, I can see him having like a crazy season.
Yeah,
having Gavrikov there to kind of clean up
20 goals, 70 plus points, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, and being a Norris winner
for sure. Okay, so you have, I'm assuming then the Capitals at 2.
Yeah, I have Washington at 2,
and I have the Rangers at 2.
Yep,
we've discussed these teams
Why
before.
are you out on Washington that hard? By the way,
I just hate them.
I think their defense is just so good.
It's good. I don't know. I just think
over the Rangers, a defense at least. Outside of Fox Gavrikov,
sure.
I'd rather have almost the entirety of the Washington defense
over
that's
fair.
New York's second pair.
I don't know. I just think there's too many players on Washington that I can see having a regression in terms of their stuff. Like there's so many career years. I love Ovi and he's a fantastic player and stuff like that. But every year we got it. He scored 44 goals last year. Is he going to be able to do that this year?
Yeah,
at 40 years old.
Slow.
Yeah, with Dylan Strome potentially not being the same kind of guy that he was last year because he super duper overachieved, right? So I just think there's a lot of questions in the forward group of the Capitals.
Yeah.
Specifically, you're right that their defense is really good, and also I think Logan Thompson is a guy that I have less faith in than Shesterkin. Right, despite Logan Thompson having a great year last year, I think Shesterkin is a much better goalie, and so I think they'll probably be, I think all 3 of the Rangers, Devils, and Capitals are of similar quality.
Yeah.
Right, I think they're all 3 pretty similar teams. And it's going to rely on injury, and it's going to for the Devils and maybe for the other teams. And then I think for who's making leaps and who's regressing for me. And I think that there's going to be more players on the Capitals that are regressing than making leaps. I could see Protas having another good year. Obviously, I think that guy's really good, but everyone else kind of I'm looking to see is gonna take a small step back. And I think if you see enough people take a small step back, it's gonna look a little bit worse. So that's what I'm thinking. But I do think all 3 of these teams are pretty close. And well behind the number 1 team in the Metro, who's Carolina. I think Carolina, it's really good.
I don't know if it's going to beat Florida in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
but
this team will destroy regular season games.
I think this is the President's Trophy winner.
I could see it
if they have enough goalie starts.
The reason for it, I think, is because the bad teams in the Metro are really bad.
Yeah.
And so, and I think this team is going to be more consistent than and maybe Vegas is the other potential President's Trophy winner, just because they also have a bad division, right? But to me, this Canes roster wins different way than the Stars, who we thought were going to do really well in the Central, and that they just focus on shot suppression, and they're better at that than anybody else, and they're just really good at winning those battles and stuff like that. And now they have Ehlers, Aho, Jarvis as a top line, which is just a gross top line.
Yeah.
That's just a gross. Having one line like that in the regular season, I mean, obviously, the Pittsburgh has a great top line comparatively to how bad they are, right?
Yeah.
If you put them in the playoffs, they would lose to any team because every team can just shut down one line in the playoffs. That's why one-line teams don't work, right? But in the regular season, Ehlers, Aho, Jarvis is gonna, all of them are gonna be point per game players, I would guess.
Yep.
If I'm making bets, they're all point per game players. Aho's scoring 40. 35. We'll say 35. 40 might be a little ridiculous, but he's scoring 35, right?
Yeah.
So it's a great team for sure.
Yep.
The holes that we kind of nitpicked in the tier list are not as nearly as relevant in the regular season as they are in the playoffs. So
unless there's a lot of goal injuries. If Anderson gets hurt in October and misses a ton of time, and then Kochetkov, it's probably maybe the best in the league.
I think they could win. I think they could win with Tristan Jarry in net.
Yeah.
But don't think they win the President's Trophy with just Jarianet, but I do still think they win the Metro.
Also, they have a ton of caps, so like if they do have a goalie injury early, they can.
And they have several Stars first-round picks with which they can float around if they wanted to do some crazy things. So it's a team that could even get better.
Yeah.
As the season goes on. So depending on what they identify as their holes and who becomes available based off of other teams that are underperforming, basically. So yeah, crazy good team.
Yeah. All right, and the next division we're going to talk about is the Atlantic Division, the final one in our standings prediction here. I assume we're starting with the same 8th place team in Boston.
It'd be crazy to not pick Boston to come in last in here. They'll probably have a better record than Philly and Pittsburgh in the Metro, but they're the weakest team here in the Atlantic.
Yeah, I could maybe see them with a healthy McAvoy and a bounce back of Swayman scraping together some wins to pass. Maybe get up to 7th. You know,
I mean, it would take a team with a history of completely collapsing to completely collapse for that to happen.
Yeah.
But that's not out of the question for sure.
Yeah, there are some teams that we're about to talk about that have a history of that. So, you know,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, not the most surprising thing if they finish 7th, but I think much higher than that, I would be completely shocked. Mm-hmm. This roster is kind of bad, but not horrendous.
Right. They have more good pieces than the other teams that are going to be finishing last in their division, but they're in a harder division.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Next up at 7th, I went with Buffalo. Who did you go?
I have Detroit here. I'm praying that Buffalo doesn't have another collapse of a season. Mm-hmm. I love the Buffalo roster on paper. I love what they did with their blue line this year. I love some of the youth in their forward group and the upside potential of guys like Jack Quinn, guys like Yuri Kulik, guys like Josh Doan they traded for. Like that line to me, really exciting. And there's some questions, obviously, with Buffalo, and they have a history of shitting themselves at any possible chance that they have of looking like a good team. They've looked like a bad team, so it's hard to have faith in them, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they'll be better than the Red Wings, who I think just have too many question marks at this point. Josh Gibson probably going to be better than the dumpster fire they had in net last year. But like, I don't know. I just don't
how much better.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in this roster, honestly. It's a good roster. They could be a playoff team. I have them in the could be a playoff tier. But just like if I was a betting man, I don't think they've got the sauce to make it out of this division or come close to make it out of this division, really. So I think they'll look good at times and they could flirt with a spot potentially, but I just don't think there's enough here.
I think both these teams on paper could make a playoff push and can make it. But like, I just don't trust either team.
Yeah.
They just haven't proven any ability to get there.
Yeah. These are two teams that have had
decent rosters.
Several years of decent rosters with talent on them, and they've underperformed that talent level repeatedly. So it's really hard to have any faith to come to in either of these teams. I think they're super comparable to me in terms of where they're at. They're at the expectations, them failing to meet those expectations. Like, their expectations of their teams is that they make the playoffs. For both of these teams, they want to be making the playoffs. Their fans want them to make the playoffs. You and I, as NHL fans, know that they probably aren't going to make the playoffs. But our expectation of these teams is that they'll at least compete for the playoffs. That they'll play some meaningful games into January at least, right? You know, and
that's the thing that hurts. Like,
and that's what I mean.
These teams have been competitive up until like the last week of the season, and it's like, oh, you're a game and a half back, and you have divisional matchups.
No
and
clutch.
Like, you just got to win those and then just like, nope, We're going to
just
lose. Montreal's going to get the spot.
over and over have we been disappointed by both of these teams for the last few years. And you know, I'm sure though at least one of them is going to flirt with the playoffs again this year.
Yep.
Who it's going to be up in the air. Will it be both of them? Maybe. But I just don't have any faith.
Yeah.
It's hard to have faith.
I like Detroit slightly better because I like John Gibson more than UPL, Lyon, Levi,
and
Georgiev.
It's a
whatever combination of those four are gonna play. I like Gibson better than any.
I just think I think that the Sabres have the better blue line and it's not close.
Yeah.
And they also have the best player on either team in Rasmus Dahlin. By quite a bit.
Second best with Tage Thompson.
Yeah, Tage Thompson is probably the second best.
Although Raymond, I think, can make an argument, but
Raymond could have a little bit of a year. And Sider's obviously really good too. But you know, it's a travesty that Rasmus Dahlin has been not played any playoff hockey. Because God, I want to see that. I want to see him play in the playoffs so bad. I want to see him be successful so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, he's such a fun player to watch.
Yep. At 5, I have Montreal. Who do you have?
I also have Montreal at 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly might have expected you to be on the Montreal to the moon hype train.
I have concerns.
Yeah.
I think they overperformed a little bit last year. I think Blaine Hudson is a great defenseman, but I don't think he can recreate the insane magic that he had last year. I'm anticipating he'll have a little bit of a return. And I just have questions about their ability to not get scored on like a gajillion times.
Yeah.
Like, I think they'll score a lot of goals. They have a lot of guys that are good at scoring goals and putting pucks in nets, but their goal suppression does not look very, very good to me.
Yeah. That's fair.
And so I'm concerned about their ability to hold up. I think they'll flirt with a playoff slot. We'll get to our wild card stuff there. They're gonna be there. But I don't know. I like the other teams in the Atlantic more than them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm high on Demidov. I'm buying all the Demidov stock there is on the market right now. I think there is going to be a bit of a regression for like Hudson. And yeah, there's some questions on this blue line. I think Goulet's pretty overrated.
Yeah.
And they're really hoping he grows into that contract because I don't think he's a $5.5 million defenseman right now.
They're gonna skate, 22 minutes at least of Mike Matheson. So
which
he's a good player, but I wouldn't want him.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's not a shot suppressor. He's not if your top pair right now, Matheson Dobson does not have a lot of responsibility in their own zone.
Yeah,
I'll say, and Goulet is more on that side of things, but hasn't shown the level. Right, to really pair with Hudson. It's just because Hudson is not at all a defensively responsible defenseman, right? Like he is really just there to contribute on the rush and to be one of those guys that just has that insane scoring touch, and he looked amazing doing it. But if you don't have, if you're getting cooked on the other end, not great. And then Sam Montembeault is not the guy I would trust the most to keep pucks out of nets with that level of shot suppression. Plus lots of injury concerns with guys like Doc, guys like Laine. That it just there's questions I think with this team. I don't think this is their year. But I think they will have a year. Like I think come pretty soon, this is going to be the team that you're thinking about at the top of the Atlantic. They're going to be the reason why the Atlantic is so hard. So,
yep.
Another thing I think for them I think because they're so young and inexperienced, I think if they're close, I think they're not a team that feels like they're going to need to buy the deadline this year. So to me, I could see them being a little more content with what they've got, hoping that they make the playoffs, obviously, but not really like pushing to go and spend everything to go and acquire the person that they need to get to do it this year. Because, they're fringe playoffs, not fringe Stanley Cup contenders, right? So,
I can see them doing something like maybe Colorado did last year, getting like Charlie Coyle, a guy with like a little bit of term.
Yeah.
Colorado couldn't afford to keep Coyle long term with their cap situation, but Montreal could, especially if they move out like a Docker liner. So I could see them maybe doing something like that, kind of getting a decent guy who has some years left, or like Toronto did with Brandon Carlo last year,
right?
Getting a guy at a discount with some years, but definitely not like whoever the high price like Artemi Panarin, for example, if he was on the market,
right? Something like that, yeah.
Or like, yeah. I don't see them going for that.
So. We have no clue who's going to be on the market at the trade deadline this year. It's kind of crazy just because you never.
Yeah.
Every team is buying. The teams that are selling don't have anything worth selling.
And they don't know they're selling yet.
They're
like they're going to get to the trade deadline and find out if they're selling.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of teams that right now are selling.
I don't know. We'll have to see. So who do you have at 4th?
I have Florida.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think the injuries are going to take a toll for the regular season.
Yeah.
Barkov is out 7 to 9 months.
Yeah, Barkov is missing the full regular season at least, I'm sure.
He says he's only going to miss 5 to 6 months.
I still
in a podcast recently.
I still think he's missing almost the entire regular season, if not the whole.
That's going to have him
season.
back for like 20 games. So they're going to have to play 60 games, no Barkov. They're going to have to play 40-something, no Kachuk.
Yeah.
And then that's before the season even starts, and there's midseason injuries.
And they're playing the most hockey of any team for the last 3 years. So
they have a bunch of guys go to the Olympics because they have a bunch of Euro. They have a very mixed international roster, so they're gonna have a lot of guys represented at the Olympics.
The wear and tear on this team is higher than any other team in the NHL, and they lost 2 of their top 5 players or whatever, including their top 1 coming into the year. So I still think they got more in them than 4th. I think they'll be able to get there.
That's also the Atlantic.
Yeah,
I think they make a top 3 in the Pacific or the Metro still, but I think the Atlantic is just very competitive, and I also don't know that they care to win.
That's true. I don't think
they cared about winning a lot last year.
They think they
just
can
wanted
beat
to get there.
Anyone in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and they're not wrong.
They were 3 seed. They were 3rd seed last year in the Atlantic, and this year is a worse starting roster.
I think they'll be the 3 seed again this year because I had Ottawa at my 4th.
Okay.
I like Ottawa's team a lot. There's some questions about them. Unlike Montreal, I think Ottawa goes for it. If they're close, I think they're a team that could buy at the deadline. They got guys coming in and the ways that they want, and they got a couple of wingers that need to be upgraded in their top 6. Yep. So I think that'll be a key point for them. But I think this is a team that could be. I could see them getting the 3 seed over Florida potentially. But I think they'll be there. But Montreal is going to be competing with them too this slot as well. It's going to be, I think, tight here in the Atlantic for in this group.
Yeah.
I think they're all very close in terms of what they can show. I love this Ottawa team though.
I think they're really good.
Do you have them at 3?
I do not have them at 3.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, who do you have at 3?
I have Tampa.
Okay.
At 3. I have too many questions about Tampa's depth to put them higher, and I think this blue line is getting old and not as good, and are more susceptible to slowing down and either just not being as good or injuries. And Vasi's still Vasi. Yeah, he's still him. That top line is still
it's still one of the best.
A superpower cheat code. But I think the
Cirelli and Hagel
not great.
Are insanely good players.
Yep. So Hagel very good. But I think the depth isn't great.
Yeah.
And I think they're in the Atlantic. So I think there's going to be some good teams here.
Yeah.
And I think Tampa's just they're going to finish third.
Okay.
Unless Vasi just goes insane.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be really good, but I don't know, like carrying a Chernak, McDonough, Mosier grouping, insane. I don't think Hedman's has that either at this stage.
I just don't see Ottawa getting more wins than Tampa Bay this year. I just look at the team. It's a good team, like a really good team.
Yeah.
But I look at the Lightning and I'm like, I trust Vasi with my life. If my life was on the line, there aren't any goalies that I would rather have in front of the net than Andrei Vasilevsky. You know, if he's and yeah, I mean, there's some holes in the blue line for sure. But we talked a little bit about like how you can get away with a little less depth in the regular season. And there's no person that's going to run up points in the regular season like Nikita Kucherov, right? Like that line is gonna just explode with offense all over people. They're still gonna have a good power play. They're gonna do all the things that you need to do in order to win regular season games. I worry about their depth and their matchups with other teams come playoff time a little bit. But I just think they're a tier above Ottawa in terms of their ability to be consistent in the regular season. There's still too many question marks to me on the Ottawa roster about. There's a lot of guys that I'm projecting to be really good for Ottawa, as opposed to with Tampa Bay, where it's like there's a lot of guys that just are good. You know, like Nikita Kucherov just is gonna have 120 points next year, and That's just the reality of the situation that we live in. Gensel and Point are both going to be 35 goal scorers. Yeah. You know, like that's just who they are at this point, right? So and Cirelli and Hagel are going to, hold it down. Like I look at like a guy like Tim Stutzla for the Senators, and I'm like, yeah, he's been really good for the last few years, but I mean, is he always going to be that guy? Like, does he still have another down year in him potentially? Are we going to have another 18 goal season like he did not last year but the year before, right, in 2024? So the track record not as proven with Ottawa as I think it is, but the future for them is obviously much higher. And then Giroux and Perron I think are massive liabilities in terms of like playing regular like. Not missing regular season games with just like the wear and tear of going through a full regular season at their ages and that kind of thing. So, and Olmark, is good. Olmark is really good, but not Vasilevsky good. So,
no.
No. I don't know. It's interesting. There's a lot of good teams in the Atlantic.
There are.
Yeah. I have the Lightning at 2. Do you have please tell me you have Ottawa at 2.
I've gone back and forth on this, and I'm going to put Ottawa at 2.
You're going to put Ottawa. You've gone back and forth on. Okay.
I think Ottawa is just going to be that young team that just boat races everybody. And I think Florida and Tampa are veteran teams who aren't going to spend all their juice in November and December.
They don't have as much to play for in November and December.
It's like, we're gonna get to the playoffs and then we're gonna be dangerous because we have Bob and Vasi and Cooch and Reinhart and all these great players. Yeah. And I think Ottawa's just gonna sprint.
I like the prediction. I like Ottawa. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. I think most of these teams are going to be really close.
By the way, I don't think Ottawa is going to beat Tampa or Florida in the playoff series.
They don't win any of those playoff series yet, unfortunately. But
like, I see them potentially having a very good record just by like they're just a little bit more veteran than like Montreal and some of these other up and coming Anaheims and stuff, to where like I think they'll beat those teams with experience, and I think they just have a little bit more jump than like teams like Washington or Florida or Tampa. You know, and I think their depth is good enough to where it's not going to be a problem.
It certainly
it's
is.
not great enough to win Stanley Cups, but yeah, I think this roster is well rounded enough to where I could see them going all out. And before Toronto made additions after losing Marner, I did think Ottawa was going to be one, but I think Toronto's made enough additions to take the first spot.
And we both have Toronto at first.
So you had Florida at 3, Tampa at 2?
Yeah, Florida 3, Tampa 2, and the Leafs at 1. I do think those will all be close. I don't think you're crazy for predicting Ottawa as high as 2. Like I certainly can see that in them, and I could see the world where the Lightning and Panthers take it a little bit easier come the end of the year, especially like if Tkachuk is coming back, like just hanging out, letting him get his stride, right, so that they can coast into the playoffs, because those are teams that can beat anyone in the playoffs, right? Both of them are. So, but yeah, this Leafs team is good. Don't know that they're better than last year necessarily. They're way deeper than last year though. That's awesome. This is one of the best blue lines in this conference.
I'd say probably second best
after
top to bottom.
Yep,
after Panthers,
and I mean,
maybe third behind Buffalo.
I also love Buffalo, but I'm not going to give him that just because like Buffalo Buffalo, if you will.
I mean, also the Leafs cast off Timmins as a 70.
That's true.
And now he's a 60 for Buffalo. So, you know, clearly Toronto's better.
Yeah. I'm predicting a big bounce back for Matthews this year. He struggled with a ton of injuries last year, and it seems like he's gotten a hold of most of them. And dude is just he's just a regular season cheat code. Austin Matthews is. I mean, 69 goals 2 years ago. That's an obscene number of goals. And I don't think he needs to hit 69 in order for this team to win this division. No. I think if he hits 45, I think they're pretty happy, but he's gotten more than that capable of him. So yeah, they filled their Marner cap space by rounding out their bottom they're basically their bottom 6. And kind of I think found a pretty cool group of guys. I think I have a lot of faith in their depth for the first time basically ever.
Since like 2013. When we should have beat Boston.
So it's a good. I think it's a good team. I think it's a team that's made for the regular season too. Like just like got good shot suppression, got elite goal scorer at the top. Like they're gonna do their thing in the regular season. I think we'll see how the narrative changes with Marner out come playoff time. I don't think it's gonna be much different for them, unfortunately. I think they're
probably not a lot different.
I think they're better than the bad teams, and they're worse than the Lightning and Panthers come playoff, in my mind. So it's tough for them to be in a division with the Lightning and Panthers because they're going to face one of those guys probably, and that's probably where their run ends. So, but
it would be interesting though. Like, I could see them beating Carolina if they were to get by.
Yeah, I could see it.
And then I don't know. Could they beat Edmonton?
I mean, you kind of
Toronto's been knocked out by the Cup winner in for the past 5 years or something ridiculous like that.
No, that's true.
For the past 6 years.
I definitely think we don't quite know how good they are in the playoffs compared to that, just because you're right. They've run into crazy hot teams, crazy good teams, the Florida Panthers, who is a team
Florida and Tampa.
Right.
In both their back-to-back years.
Yeah, and I think Florida especially is a team that just matches up crazy well against them, and matches up crazy well against any team that is reliant on a smaller number of offensive players to do stuff, just because of how well they play defensively and how insanely good of a shutdown player Barkov is. Like that really can't be understated. How perfectly built this team is to dominate playoff matchups against good players, right? And that's what they were before. with Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander, right? And that's kind of still what they are now, missing Marner, but they're still going to be relying on Matthews, Tavares, and Nylander for the majority of their goal scoring is going to come from those top two lines. And so
maybe a Dakota Joshua,
right,
kind of finds his footing here, but he's really the only. He's not a proven scorer, but he has shown scoring potential.
Yeah. So we'll see, but I do like them to win this division.
The only problem I have with them is will they get enough starts from Stolarz and Woll to win the division? Both guys have been pretty injury prone. Neither one's played more than 30-something games in a season.
But the Hildebeest. The Hildebeest can hold it down.
The Hildebeest is not doing well against NHL opponents. He so far seems like an AHL, a quadruple A superstar. And we'll see if he ever gets NHL level reps. Then also Optimus Rhyme, James Reimer, is also probably signing his PTO and playing in the minors as a call up. So there's guys, but I'd feel a lot better if Stolarz or Woll had a full season in their history. Because I could see both of them playing maybe 20-something games,
I think
and then you got Hildebeest playing the other
them,
half.
You can't form a complete year. Is that correct? Here, let's check this real quick.
Woll's highest is
42, so we need 40 out of Stolarz. Do we have a 40 Stolarz year?
We have a 34 Stolarz.
We have a 34 Stolarz year. So yeah, so between the two of them at their top. in their best years where they've played the most possible games, you cannot come up with a complete season. So certainly some health questions there, goaltending wise, but the team in front of them is so good. And if either one of those guys just simply doesn't get injured, or doesn't get injured that bad, then they're really good.
By the way, second highest for both those guys is 25 for Woll, 28 for Stolarz.
Oh, yikes.
So that's 53 games.
Hey, you know what? Screw it. Ottawa wins the division.
I mean, I see that as a path if Toronto has to play Hildebeest or Reimer for 30 or more starts.
Yeah.
No, but if they don't, then I think Toronto should win this division.
Yeah. It's theirs to lose in terms of having goalies show up. So,
yep.
All right. So, who do you have as your two wild card teams coming out of the Eastern Conference?
I have Florida, Montreal.
Montreal. That's interesting. Yep. We have 0 wild card teams in common because I have Washington and Ottawa.
Yeah. I have both those teams as division.
No, I know.
Second in the division.
Oh, I know. So what? I have the Devils making, and you don't.
Yeah, you have the Devils, and I don't.
And then
you don't have Montreal making.
Yes, I don't have Montreal making. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
Oh, I think the Devils could.
I mean,
I think the Devils could win their division.
It's just health for the Devils, right? It's just health for the Devils. You and I are just predicting.
I've bet on them enough times.
Yeah. No, we're literally just predicting how many actual games they're going to lose from their star players. That's really the difference between them winning the division, making the wild card, not making the playoffs. You're saying not make the playoffs. I'm saying that they will be third in their division based off of injuries done, and there's a world where they're also the wild card because they lose a couple more games than I predict because there's that. But I am just praying for a healthy Jack Hughes season. That's all I want right now. Let me see both Hughes brothers be healthy for 82.
Ooh.
Tool Hughes for 82.
Let's start with 70. Let's get to 70. 70 is close enough. Let's be a little realistic here.
That's true.
They're Hugheses after all. Come on now.
They're Hugheses.
They're in the same bus as Buffalo and Detroit.
Yeah.
Where it's I kind of want to pick them, but How many times are they going to make me look like an idiot before I'm just like, okay, well, I guess it's just not going to happen.
But the difference is that with Jersey, it's based off of injuries, not off of like career underperformances from players that you like are supposed to be better and you can see should be better. So
yeah. It's definitely different, but it's that kind of same like I don't know how many times am I going to predict them to bounce back before it's just like I'm picking somebody else.
Right. No, fair enough.
Give me Montreal.
Fair enough. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Montreal will be fighting tooth and nail for that wild card. So I think that this East is real close. The teams that are going to be third, maybe even second, will all be really close with each other, and the wild card teams will be not close behind. I think we'll be playing. It'll be last week or two of the season before we're even seeing what the real shape is going to look like. So and that's exciting. Much more exciting than the West, I would say, where we predicted some slightly different things. But I think with the West, we'll know earlier on in the season. You know what I mean? Like it was like, are the Kings good or are the Kings completely washed? That was your question, right? You're like, I think the Kings are washed. I'm like, I think they'll still probably be fine. And so I think we'll know that pretty early on into the year. We get a Darcy Kemper injury, and it's like, okay, or Cody Ceci looks like Cody Ceci, and we'll be like, oh, okay.
They trade Brent Clark. And you're like, oh, okay.
And you're like, oh, I see what it is. You just hate youth. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting year for the NHL this year. I think, especially with the Florida injury. It would have been interesting even if Barkov and Tkachuk weren't missing so much time. But like them being out really opens it up, right? It's always an interesting story. Will they three-peat? But it's also a really interesting story. Just like it's a complete shit show at the top. All these teams are really good, but all of them have like these real big weaknesses that we talked about, right? And it's like who's gonna be able to figure it out, right? Both in the regular season and come the playoffs. So
and especially if Barkov doesn't come back on the earlier side of the timetable, it looks like he's going to be missing into the playoffs. Like, I think that might trigger some teams to maybe go push every chip they have, push the reserve chips in.
Yeah,
because like it's
all these
for sure open.
All these teams in the Atlantic are keeping an eye on that Barkov return. Like if things go poorly and he doesn't come back until playoffs, there might not be a playoffs for him to come back to. If Ottawa and Montreal have their way with it, right? And New Jersey is even remotely healthy. So it'll be interesting.
I think it'll trigger it in the West too. So I think Edmonton's going to be like, okay,
Edmonton's
this is the one.
Yeah, this is our year.
And then the other top West teams going to be like, well, this is our chance to, if we can get a shot, we don't have to lose against Florida now, like Edmonton does. We could win it.
Right. We can beat Carolina or whoever. So
I think it could trigger an arms race at the deadline.
You know what, Colin? I hope so. As a person that is rooting for a team that only has pieces to sell and has no interest in winning any games, I'm really hoping that we're talking about Ricard Raquel fetching a first and a prospect, something like that.
Yeah. All right. So we'll close out this segment by throwing something on you that I did not tell you I would.
Okay.
What is the Stanley Cup final matchup? And we'll come back to this mid-season to see if we want to make changes, and then we'll come back to this at the end of the season and make our pre-playoff prediction. What are you feeling for Stanley Cup final?
Stanley Cup final. Really what I'm thinking is, am I picking any team other than the Panthers? That's the first question we're asking. Am I picking a non-Panthers team to be in it from
2 weeks ago?
East?
I'm locking the Panthers as Stanley Cup winner three-peat.
Yep.
But
there's
not going to be a Barkov, or if there's going to be Barkov limping along at like barely playable. I don't know.
All right. I I think I know. I think I have my pick, Colin. I'm gonna predict that the Panthers will defeat the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games.
Let me check the timestamp on the video real quick to see what year this is.
I don't know. That's just what I like. Like I like those teams. I think if Barkov comes back for the playoffs, and we'll see, I guess maybe by the time it's midseason, we still won't know. Right? The next time that we do this, we still won't know what is going on. But I guess we'll see a little bit more of what they look like.
Shut him down.
Of what they look like without Barkov, we'll see too. But
what does a Bennett 1C look like?
Yeah, what does Bennett 1C look like? But like, I just can't. Like, if they have Barkov back, I just don't see a world where they don't run over all the other teams in the East. I think their matchup against every team in the East is crazy good. And I think Edmonton has a great matchup with all the teams in the West. Like, maybe Vegas is good enough to topple them this year. Maybe the Avalanche pull it together or something like that. But, like, I'm not betting against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Like, those are 2 of the top 3 best hockey players in the NHL. Like they're just so good. Like it's a cheat code to have them both on the same team. And I think if they make it to the Stanley Cup playoffs and both of those teams do it again, why would they do anything different? I mean, Barkov is going to once again shut down McDavid. He's not like that. I don't think will change. And then the rest of Florida's depth will come through and send them to victory because that's just what they do to teams. But I don't know. It's kind of a cheap out to say the same thing is going to happen for the third year in a row. But like, I don't know. It's hard to bet against it if I'm looking at these teams. What do you think? Give me something more interesting than my pick.
I'm going to give you something slightly more interesting than your pick. I'm going to give you Edmonton, Florida, and I'm going to say the Oilers get it done.
Whoa!
Against a weakened Panthers team.
Maybe so. Is Stuart Skinner in net?
Unfortunately.
Okay.
But I think even if Barkov is back, he will not be full Barkov. And I think McDavid is good enough to where Barkov has to be at his best.
No, that's fair.
And if Barkov can't be at his best, then McDavid will be able to break the chains that Barkov hold.
That's crazy. We'll see. Interesting. I would have thought either of us, because I didn't know what I was picking, honestly. Like, I had no idea what I was going to pick coming into that. So I would have thought either of us would have picked something different. But
I want to pick Vegas so bad.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. And I don't know what team in the East matches up with an injured Florida still. Like, honestly, Washington feels like my gut pick of just, like...
That's crazy.
The deepest team that I trust.
I don't know.
I just don't trust Carolina's goaltending in a matchup because Freddie Anderson's not going to be playing.
Right.
If Freddie Anderson was going to play, then like I'd probably pick them to lose in the NHL Finals.
Yeah.
The Stanley Cup Finals.
I mean, just like with...
Same with Toronto.
It's funny because, like... Yeah, those 2 teams have basically run the NHL, right? But even this year, with Florida showing some vulnerability, I mean, other teams just also have vulnerability. Like, there's just like it's like Florida was so good, and they had it all together, and it's like I don't know. I just think they still got it in them. So
yeah,
yeah.
And like I think Edmonton has gotten better.
Yeah.
I think the roster is not like way better, not like, oh my God, Edmonton's a powerhouse now, but I mean I think they got a little bit better up front.
Yeah,
and
I think they're a little better.
Their goaltending and blue line didn't get worse. It didn't really change at all, actually. So
right.
For better or for worse, I don't know, but it's not worse as a unit. So I think this Edmonton team's a bit better. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't think I can't see my prediction changing come mid-season unless one team looks like some teams look like crazy good. Like maybe Logan Stankoven is actually the best 2C in the NHL. right?
Yeah.
And then that question is answered for me, and I'm like, okay, Carolina actually has what it takes to get it done now, right? Or maybe Montreal has like the blue line is just clicking on all levels, and Demidov is on pace for 30 goals. Then like it's like, okay, maybe they're gonna sneak out that last spot, and Florida might not even make it if they're struggling a little bit, So, but
Toronto looks like a 4-line machine.
Yeah,
that's just chewing through teams.
Right. Or
then,
or Vegas actually looks like what they're chalked up to be, and they're healthy.
Yeah,
and they're rolling, and Mitch Marner has a gajillion points, and Eichel has scored 50 goals or whatever,
To me, I don't really think it matters as much with Vegas. I think they're almost like Florida-esque, where it's like
they just need to get there,
get to the playoffs, and then who's healthy. And if enough boxes are checked, then like I think they're a super threat. And if they are squeaking into the playoffs and they don't have Stone and they don't have Theodore, then
no. If they don't have Theodore, I don't think
like the
done.
first 3 months of the season matter to them. I don't think it matters till spring for them. And then everybody else don't feel confident in their depth.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know, some of these teams might add. And maybe the Oilers trade away McDavid because they can't get a contract with him. Instead of losing him for nothing in July, they trade him at the deadline for, I don't know, an entire franchise.
Sidney Crosby. If you want an entire franchise, that's the closest thing we have to an entire franchise to offer, right?
I'm pretty sure Saravelli is trying to do like Doc and Line A and a first or something, so he could play 2C in Montreal.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And like same with the Rangers. Maybe they can't get a deal with Panarin and they don't look good, so they're gonna sell Panarin.
That would be pretty. I could see that being.
And then whoever adds Panarin looks a lot scarier.
Yeah, I mean Panarin comes in and turns any first line into one of the best first lines in the NHL, right?
Yeah,
like any first line of any of these playoff teams, if they added Panarin, would immediately become
Ottawa.
Oh, that's the scary. Yeah. Oh my God, Ottawa with Panarin.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty scary.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe we won't do it at the midseason. Maybe we'll do it at the deadline. Maybe both. Who knows? It's not like we're limited on on the amount of predictions we can make. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Fourth Line Plugs podcast. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, follow, or subscribe, whether on Spotify or YouTube, and be sure to drop a comment. Let us know what you liked and what content you want to see moving forward. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.